What you thought? Huh? What you thought, huh? What you thought? You was gonna take me out? Can nobody take my pride? Can nobody hold me down? Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should I be on this or should I be on that? Because I don't want to get caught up in the mix. What's up? What's up? Back at it again. They want me to take pictures of shit. What up? What up? Dímelo, Black Saxon. Que lo que el manito. All right, I just had to get these lights. Here we spoke on the phone. Please get with him tomorrow morning. Okay. What up? What up? But yeah, back at it. It's just being a panel. I mean, a panelist on the other people's lives. It's a lot of wild stuff going on. I run into the most interesting fellows on this app and talk to some very colorful people. The way that they speak, it's very eye opening. Um, but yeah, I'm back at it with this. Yeah, I know. Black Saxon. That my other account got attacked. They did the whole drop a dingaling pick on me. Got my shit multi guest banned for 7 days. This one, a lot of arguing went down. Bringing up people that got already restrictions for bullying. They make it look like I'm trying to host that. So I got this one knocked down for 3 days. But I've been active now and just joining a few panels and listening to what's going on in this TikTok universe. The TikTok dimension, if you won't call it that. But yeah, I know that now. I thought it was my own Dominican people that were attacking my lives, but I found out because I followed. With another account, I looked at the dude that dropped that talk block pic on me. That took, and some of the white people. Well, actually, not some. That one white girl. I forgot what her name was. It was a blonde chick. She was following the dude. So I'm like, oh, they know each other and they're about that talk block life. So I'm not gonna allow them to try to scare me with their antics on dropping my lives. Like that's gonna be the way. Like, no, they must not know who I am. I'll go harder. Sorry, I'm drinking a little coffee. I'll go harder. I'll get more ignorant. What the fuck? But yeah, so back at it again. Over here just trying to figure out what this white culture is here in the United States, created by Americans, white Americans, right? The white ethnicity. What does that mean? And what culture do you have here in the United States? Hopefully they start coming in. Thank you for tapping the live for now. Yeah, repost, let people know. I'm back at it. Um, Not trying to get disrespectful today. Hopefully it's just real people coming up trying to explain themselves to the United States, I mean, to other Americans or even people of the world, because I encourage anyone that has ever known someone to be ethnically white to explain the culture that they share. I was just in the Poconos for the weekend and I saw a lot of different white people, and they didn't look homogenous. So I don't know because I was as I got closer to some of them, I'm hearing them speak a different language and like that's what's really confusing here. Like you'll see a person dressed up like a white American, let's say, because you could tell when they're like European, they dress a little different. Clothes just be a little different. Like Maybe wear shorts with that little fold in the bottom, you know, that little thin, a quarter inch, half an inch fold. Not even half an inch. Yeah, like about half an inch fold. All right, let me see. I got people coming up already. Truth, the truth. Please, let me see. We I already know where it's gonna go. I have a feeling. Let me see.
Yo,
Yo, what's up? The truth. What's good?
what's good, bro?
All right, all right. I'm doing good. I just wanted to fix this up so everybody can see what I got going on here. So, I have here on the prompt, white people have no culture in America. What do you say for that?
I think they got a culture.
All right, all right. So, what's some of the foods that they eat?
Potato salad with raisins.
Okay, I've heard that one. All right.
Um,
Potato salad with raisins. That's wild.
macaroni salad.
Macaroni salad.
Um,
Okay.
barbecue potato chips, Lay's flavor.
Barbecue potato chips. What the fuck is he talking? That's their food. That's their cultural food.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all
Um,
right. What else? Why you talking? It looked like you're. What you did is that you're picturing yourself walking to one of the little cookouts, and you just reading everything that you see on the table, or telling me all the things you saw on the
yeah,
table.
yeah.
All right. So what else you saw on that table?
Um, they had some deviled eggs, but with extra mayonnaise. Extra,
Yeah, they use mayonnaise as a seasoning, right?
yeah, extra mayonnaise.
Okay.
So that's their food.
What was some of the music? What was some of the music that they were?
Some of the music, well, they love playing Funky Town. They love
Hold on. What you talking about?
they love
Can
playing
you
wobble.
take me to Funky
Yeah.
Town? That, all right, all right.
They love playing wobble. Wobble with me, wobble baby, wobble.
Oh, they like wobble?
You gonna hear that at the white cookout for sure.
For real?
Yeah,
Wobble?
wobble. Yeah.
Okay. Night Sky, you're more welcome to come on up, please, if you believe that white American have culture. We're trying to go over it.
Yeah.
I
And
wobble. So they take some Black American stuff and play it. All right.
yeah, and the thing is, people think they don't have rhythm. White people, what they have is freedom. So when they dance, they just free with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought it was that they danced to the lyrics, not the beat.
No, they just
Mm.
dance to freedom.
They
No
dance to
beat,
freedom,
no beats, no lyrics, just movement.
just movement. It doesn't matter when is what or where is. Yeah, just they
No,
not
it's
on the one or the two. Got it.
see, rhythm is about pattern recognition. Rhythm is
Got
about
it.
communication. They don't care about patterns. They don't care what other people enjoy.
They don't care about that. They care about
No.
just releasing energy and for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yes, yes.
Mm. All right. How about a shared language? Do they have like sayings that they say? Like us
Um,
Dominicans, we got que lo que, dímelo, dámelo. You know what I mean? So we got things like that. So what do you so you think some of the what white American sayings that they have?
white American sayings is
Yeah.
if they want to say something like who invited we might say something like who invited this guy to the cookout, whose man's
Uh-huh.
is this, right?
Who mans
what
is this? All right, yeah, exactly. All right. So
what they'll say is get a load of this guy,
yeah, yo, you right. Get a load of this guy.
get a load of this guy.
That is this shit right there. You
Yeah.
right.
Or
How about what would you translate to like do you know who the, do you know who you fucking with? Like how what you think that translate to in white American vernacular?
it's I'm about to call 911.
Oh damn. I was thinking you're barking up the wrong tree, pal.
Okay, yeah. You barking up the wrong tree. And something that they say when they don't want to talk to you no more and they kind of just want to walk away, especially men. They'll say this to men. They'll pat you on the back and they'll say, "Okay, buddy. All right, bud." And they walk the fuck off. All right, bud.
All right, buddy.
Get the fuck away from me.
Oh shit. I had another white American that he came up and he said he was really white. You know, I usually question white people when they come on stage and I ask them what type of white are they? Like are they a new white? Are they old white? Because it does mean something. You know, there's some people that know they have all Polish parents and they think that they're white Americans here in the United States, which I think it's misleading and I believe that they're confused, those type of whites. So the one white gentleman that he said, my people from Kentucky. He said, I asked my grandfather where my people from, and they say Kentucky. So he didn't say any Swedish, any Italian, nothing. You know what I mean? And he said one of the sayings that he had was, "News flash, buddy."
Newsflash, buddy. News. Hey, I'm gonna tell you about the Kentuckies. You know where Kentucky Blue come from?
No, I don't.
So there's a group of family. I forget the family name, but it was a family that did so much incest that they turned blue. Their skin turned
Is
blue.
that what it was? I thought it was something to do with silver.
Yeah, maybe, but
Ah,
they a family in Kentucky had so much incest that their skin turned blue. But a scientist had created a pill that they could take, and it got rid of and it turned their
okay.
skin back white while they continued to do incest.
Oh wow, that's I gotta look that up. But before we continue, let me see. I got Jack Sliv here. Maybe he's a white American, maybe not. What's up, Jack Sliv?
I gotta ask, did you say Polish people aren't white?
Well, this is the
No,
thing.
you're an idiot. They have
No,
blonde hair and
hold on,
blue eyes. How are
hold
they
on, hold
not
on,
white?
hold on. Let me say something. Look, all right. So when it comes to, because I lived in Europe for 3.5 years, right? When it comes to Europeans, they don't really identify with race. What they do is they identify from what nation they come from. So over here in the United States is when people become white, and this is why I say that. When it comes to people here that have a long lineage in the Americas that are white ethnically, they end up having amalgamations of different European nations. So they'll be a part German, part Italian, part Irish, part Polish. So what I've learned is from Europeans is white is kind of like lost to them. They consider it lost or someone that doesn't really know their heritage. So that's what I mean when I say white people here in America. I'm not talking about specifically just the race, but the people that call themselves ethnically white here.
Okay. Anyway,
So do you know your ancestry when your people got here to the United States?
yeah.
How far ago?
Well, I'm pretty I got quite a bit, but I got one side of my family, my father's side who's been here since like the 16 or 1700s. Then
Okay.
my mother's side got here in about the early 1900s.
Early 1900s, what might have been an Ellis Islander?
Ireland.
Ireland, so most likely Ellis Island, right?
Yeah, I don't really. I just consider myself American.
All right. So how about your father's side? What part of Europe was he from?
Uh, Britain.
He was Britain. So okay, so he's and then any did any Italians get in the mix along your bloodline or any
Slavic, but no.
Slavic, which the Polish you're talking?
I think Russian.
Russian? Okay, now that's a confusing thing right there, though, because like I was watching an interview the other day of a CIA agent talking up to saying that he was talking to Putin, and Putin points at his skin and he said, "You believe because we share this that we share this," pointing at his head in a dramatic way, and that you believe that we're the same, but we're not the same. And he was talking to a white American CIA agent. So I think skin
Yeah,
color
I mean
confuses people.
America and Russia have way different cultures and way different ways of life. So I mean, no, we aren't the same, but it's both a majority European nation. The Soviet Union was a majority Slavic nation as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. What happens here in the United States where people just become white all of a sudden? Like I've
I know
um
you're jealous of European ancestry and shit, but
no,
you
I'm
don't
not
gotta make
jealous.
it.
I'm not jealous of it. I'm not jealous of it at all. There's nothing to be
Okay, so
jealous
how
of.
do white people have no culture?
So that right, instead of saying that, what is some of white people culture here in America?
I mean, we made chocolate chip. It sounds silly, but
Chocolate chip
we
cookies? Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
it's something.
Hey,
Uh,
American apple pie, pumpkin pie. I'll give you that if y'all want to talk about some stuff. All right.
yeah, yeah, good desserts, you know.
Good desserts. Okay. How about some of the music that was created by ethnically white people here in the United States?
I don't. You mean like white like musicians?
No, not white musicians. Music that was created, genres of music that was created by
Oh no,
ethnically white
no.
people.
Most of it was created by like African Americans. I won't lie there.
Black Americans, exactly.
Still American.
Yeah, it's American, but it's just a different type of group of people. That's why. All right, all right. So how about some of the
What about
things?
brands? Brands.
What do you mean by brands?
Like I think Nike and Adidas were both made by white men.
Well, that's the hold on. So this is the thing. I'm not saying that was Adidas was made by a German, right? Two brothers, I believe. Adi and Das. I think that's the names of the brothers, and that was made in Germany. So look, my thing is that removing everything European, what was created by what we know as ethnically white people here in the United States. That's why I know people get confused by that, but that's how I mean it when I say it.
I mean, we rated the TV in the fridge,
Oh well, that's either here or there. Give me a second though. Give me a second.
and I mean, I I tell you, well, white Americans did the most to build America. Well, European immigrants as well. The hell?
Sorry guys, I had a little meeting with one of the segment regional managers here, just real quick. But all right. So I'm back at it. I know people be like, damn, are you really moonlighting? Yes, I am. Mind your business. All right, we got him coming up again. I remember you, sir. That's why I'm bringing you up. If you'd like to come up,
Yo, yo, what's
we
up, man?
still we still don't know. What are you, him?
What's good, bro?
What's up, him? Are you ethnically white? Because you are coming up caping for ethnically white people. Are you ethnically white?
No, no, no.
All right, my bad. Oh no, we was talking about something else the other day that I think.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I do speak on behalf of white people. Yeah.
Okay. What you mean that you speak on behalf of white people? You're an
Well,
honorary white?
yeah. Practically, I'm honorary white.
Honorary white. All right. So, but where's your descendancy from? Where your people from?
Jamaica.
White Jamaican?
Well, I mean, I'm
You
more
got
of
a
a
little bit
realist.
of you got a little bit of like a Bob Marley situation going on.
Not more so Bob Marley, but like I don't know. Whoever was a peacemaker, man.
Sean Paul.
Probably like a
You got
Sean
you
Paul,
got a
man.
little Sean Paul situation going on, like a little bit of because I think he got Venezuelan background or something.
Nah. I ain't got that. I ain't got that. I ain't got that. Well,
All right,
I'm
so
straight black, bro. I'm straight black.
oh,
I'm a
you are.
realist.
All right, so as a realist, so what is it, some of this culture that you see that white America has?
Well, practically everything, man. When you look at the
Uh,
lights, when you look at electricity, when you look at roads, when you look at cars,
electricity?
when you look at practically everything around you that we use, it came from a white inventor.
That's not
Now,
true, though. That's not true.
one second.
When I
I
left
got
my
you.
bedroom this morning, I turned a doorknob. That wasn't created by a white inventor.
You said what?
I said when I left my bedroom this morning, I turned a doorknob. That wasn't created by a white inventor.
How about the door lock? How about the door? Like
I
this.
mean, the door was
That's what I'm
created
trying to
by
say.
white Americans.
These things. All right. So listen, what I'm saying, right? These things that black inventors invented was only because white people invented what they invented. You get what I'm saying?
What? No.
That's a fact. It made those systems better. It enhanced those systems.
What?
It's a fact. When you look at the traffic light, you would say the same thing about the traffic light. You would say, okay, well, Garrett Morgan created the stop it, the traffic light. But when you look, it's actually JP Knight. He created that 30 years before the black man did. Now, am I gonna lie and say black people created the traffic light? No, but a lot of black people will, even though they're woke to the new information, they won't change their perspective, and that's
Yeah,
my problem.
got you, him. Let me just get a second because I got
I
Isaiah
got
up
you.
here. I
I
just want
got
to
you.
make sure Isaiah. What's up, Isaiah?
What's up, bro?
I see that you requested up. I don't know. Are you a white American by any chance?
You know, I would say I'm mixed, but a lot of people get angry specifically. Well, I won't say that, but a lot of people get angry, say I have to pick one. If I had to pick one, I mean, I'm a mix between native and white. I talk like a white
Native.
dude, I'm pretty whitewashed. Yeah, native. I'm
Na-
Latino.
hold on. I'm confused. Native and white, but you're Latino.
Yeah, that's generally typically how it works. That's why we are brown, but we aren't exactly black either. Like we're a mix.
What's your what type of Latino are you?
I am of Mexican descent. I grew up in
Mm,
California, born here.
gotcha, Mexican. But you're born here. How about your parents? Were they born here as well?
Yes. My
Okay,
father was from Mexico. Never met him, but he was from Mexico. My
your father was.
mom,
Oh, she's a
yes.
white American.
No, she's not white. We're all Mexican. It's just he was from Mexico. She was born in California, like me.
All right. So who's the white person then? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
The white person would be, you see, like 500 years ago, a bunch of white people came over and completely assaulted our women and slaughtered us and then brought their diseases. And since they assaulted our women, uh, yeah, we're now mixed because that happened.
Is that how
For
you
the same reason that you as a black man speak English. That's why
I'm
English
not
is.
I'm not I'm not black. I'm Dominican.
Oh, Oh, I know black. I
Yeah,
know black.
me no
I
black. Me
You
no
know.
know
black.
black, you know
I'm
black.
Dominican.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Is that
I mean,
yeah?
even if
But
you,
no,
so
is
then you
that's true.
understand.
I'm not black. I'm not black. I'm
No, yeah,
Dominican.
but
So,
then you should understand since you're in South America.
no, I'm not in South America. I'm in my people's from the Caribbean
Oh, I
islands.
meant fucking. Yeah. You're in fucking. Where is it? Europe? I don't know, but
I'm in the Dominic. What are we talking about? The Dominicans come from the Dominican Republic, man.
hey, the point is, bro. Okay, you
I got you.
can't crack an omelet without dropping a few eggs. So basically,
That saying does not apply to what you're talking about. You're talking
yeah,
about some
I know,
because look, so
but
Spaniards. So you're telling me the Spaniards that went to Mexico and became criollos, because they were Spaniards born in Mexico. They were also Mexicans.
what are you
The
talking about?
well, hold on. You don't know about this history? Spaniards
No,
born in
I'm just. How is this relevant to what I said? You
I
said that.
don't because
Where is the white person?
you're saying that they you saying that they over there and went to caressed and raped your women, but that's not the case. That's not all the way the case. They were Spaniards born in Mexico that became the criollos.
If
And
there were, how many generations does it take for you to have to choose a side? If it was like, let's say, the Hernan Cortez came over, right, or Amerigo Vespucci. Let's say one of them come over. Christopher Columbus comes over. and he has a baby with some, let's say, I don't know, Cherokee girl, right? Is that Cherokee baby white or native? And then if they have a baby with another half breed of the same exact type, when is that grandchild? Like how many generations does it take before they have to pick a side? That's what I don't understand. Because I'm probably darker than you, yet you want me to refer to myself as a white guy.
I never even
And
hold on. I don't want you to refer to yourself as anything. You came up. I was just asking, do
you
you
asked me
consider
my race.
yourself what? No, I
No,
no, I wasn't asking you your race. So this is where people get it confused. There's people that
can we get to the prompt, bro? I don't know
I
why you're
got
stuck
you.
on
Hold on.
race.
I'm not stuck at race. I'm just saying I wanted to know who I was talking to. If it's someone that considers themselves ethnically white here in the United States that wants to speak on the culture.
I'm definitely
If you're
I'm
not that,
definitely no, I would not. I would
all right,
definitely
so you're
not
not
consider
that.
myself white. However,
Okay.
my ID
Okay.
says white. My army paperwork says white. When I
But
go to the job, like, there's no,
you chose, hold
I
on, you
can't. No,
chose white on your army. Don't tell me that, man. You
no, no,
chose white.
no, no, no. My recruiter writes it down, dude.
That's
Listen,
bullshit,
that's
sir.
not
That's
the. That's
bullshit. Yo, that's it. Come on,
also
man. You talking to a veteran, dog. So don't lie to me, man. It's
my
illegal
recruiter
for
did
anybody to write on your military paperwork. It has to be the
yes,
person
some
join it. So
parts, bro.
stop.
That's not even an
Oh
important thing. If
Lord, wow,
whether
yo, he's
he
gonna
wrote it,
come up lying.
I'm not lying. I can show you my DD 214 and my dog tags. Like, I don't know if you want proof that I was in, or if you want proof
No,
like
it's not
that
that. You
he
can't.
wrote it
You have to
down.
choose. Yeah, that's illegal for
Yeah,
him to
he
choose.
asked
Good
me, and he
morning.
simply just fucking checked the box, bro. Relax.
Okay, all right, but he's not supposed to be touching none of your shit when it comes to
Yes,
you
he
doing your
is,
paperwork.
bro. He's the one typing the
Well,
shit on the computer. Maybe not in the 1900s when you joined and you were doing paperwork, but
oh,
we
but
got
hold
Good
on.
computers
All
morning,
now.
right, all right.
Lopez.
Give me. I got you. What's up? Good morning, Gabi. Dame un segundo. So,
Ok, mi
Isaiah,
amor.
Isaiah. So you said that you're white then, and he just put it in.
Because there was no other race for me to choose. I'm definitely not black.
Really?
I'm definitely not Asian. I'm definitely not
Huh?
fucking
Don't say
whatever
definitely
else.
not Asian. Don't say definitely not
Oh
Asian.
no, yeah, we crossed the Bering Strait. I get it. If I'm
No, I'm not
native,
saying
that
the
means I'm.
Bering Strait. I'm talking about the Pacific slave trade that happened through
Oh my God, this
Acapulco.
guy just wants to be woke
Hold
and a
on,
history
Gabby.
teacher.
Is that this a real? That's real. That happened. All right, whatever.
Okay, it happened. That doesn't fucking change what I'm saying. You fucking fool.
Okay, you got now. I hear the Mexican with the fool part. What's up, princess? Dímelo.
Hello, how are you?
All
Um,
right, all right. We just was trying to get to the prompt, but I was just trying to figure out what the gentleman was. He said he's white on paper. So if is Isaiah, if you did want to get to the prompt, you can go ahead, and I'll wait patiently.
White people have no culture in America. That's not true. They have a bunch of culture. They got, the Remington 870. They got them bass boats. They got square dancing. They got most of the modern, genuinely, not even gonna bullshit you. They really did in the United States, as the East expanded west. They done created most of the modern agricultural marvels.
Whoa, whoa,
Talk your
you
shit,
you
white
got a
boy.
Bluetooth, you got a Bluetooth going on him. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, so like, I mean, and then what else? Uh, one of these, I believe, genuinely one of the strongest military infrastructures since the start of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah,
Um,
but hold
there
on,
was a
but
point.
hold
There
on,
was a point where the Ford
hold
factories
on,
were
him, hold
pumping
on,
out
him.
more World War II planes than cars, and they were doing
Yeah, but hold on, him. Yo,
more a
but hold
day
on,
than were being
Isaiah,
shot down.
Isaiah. Ever since the Revolutionary War, there was other people involved. It wasn't just white people, sir. Since the Revolutionary War.
What does that have to do with what I just said?
You just said that it was like as if it's just their military, which that's not the case
No, I
either.
said it was
You would
definitely
know
one of the
that. You know that
strongest
if it was,
military industrial complexes. Like that's why
yeah,
we have like we're the strongest country.
but not created by white people though.
Oh, absolutely created by white people. Definitely supported and upheld by a lot of POCs, but that it was 100% created by white people. That's what Washington did. They were a bunch of fucking oatmeal Quakers, making oatmeal, and they picked up their muskets and fought off the world's most powerful navy. You tell me that's not hardcore shit?
Pop your shit, white boy.
He's not even white. All
I
right.
don't care. That nigga popping his shit.
Is that the all right?
Good morning. It's my
Dímelo.
turn.
You go ahead,
Hola,
Gabi.
mi
Después vengo
amor.
tú.
¿Cómo tú estás, mi amor?
Yo lo voy a poner.
Eh, I have a question for Isaiah. Isaiah, I have a question for you. So, your parents are Mexican, right? My question is, I want to know. So your parents are full Europeans, Mexicans, like white people, like from Uruguay and Argentina, like pure white. When we go into the embassy and we can get the European passport, or what kind of white you think you
I
are? Can you explain
understand.
to
I
me?
understand why you guys want to break this up so much, and I will absolutely answer that. When I say I'm white, I do mean that it's a mix that goes back probably at least 100, 200, three
No,
hundred
no, no,
years.
no, no. My question is, your parents look Caucasian,
No,
100%
no,
of
my
European?
mom is no, 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 and that's not how it works. My mother looks. She could definitely, if she knew Spanish, I guarantee she could go to Spain, and people would not question it. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, her family's been here." My mother is a little pale, not really. She can tan very easily and does all the time. My father, I barely saw him. He was some bald-headed, shaved-head cholo who was really short and dark, like they usually are. So I
Okay,
would
so
guess because he was,
okay, so
huh?
I understand your father look cholo, right? So your father look indigenous. Say that in English, right?
Yes,
So your
yes.
father look indigenous. Your mother don't look fully white. So how you can identify yourself as a white person? This
I
is my
said
question.
I didn't say I was white. I said I was a mix, and on paper I was basically forced to call myself white because
So,
Latino is not a race. Otherwise, I would put Latino.
so honey, you say you identify yourself as a white person. Lopez, I'm wrong.
I said today I'll go ahead
Well,
and choose
Hispanic
white
is not
since
a race.
people
It's
use
still white
that.
people.
That's exactly my point. I
Yes,
can't say
Hispanic
Hispanic. I can't.
mix. Hold
Yeah,
on. Let me
no,
respond to some
Yes,
people's
it's a
Hispanic
here.
mix,
means
but
Hold
it's
on.
Hispanic means
majority
coming from a
white.
Spanish speaking country.
Let me say something, right? Because a lot of people is in here on this panel, and 21 people, right? And the bottom two. So we're gonna go from there, right? Some countries are whiter, Spanish-speaking country, than others. Like the whiter country in Latin America or the whole continent is Uruguay. When I was born, and I'm mixed, right? And I'm
Yeah,
a woman of
Argentina has
color.
blonde hair, blue
And
eyes.
listen, I'm from Uruguay, next door to Argentina. We have 88% of the population is Caucasian. My question is for you: how your two parents are looking indigenous, and you think you white in America when we have every box? For example, Lopez know a little bit about me, right? So on the government, when they have a different boxes, right? And you can say you Latino, you Hispanic, or you black, or you Somalian, you Asian, or whatever from Asia, right? So how you
Mhm.
think you white? I
Latino.
bet your last
Let me
name.
answer. You asked the question twice. Let me
Yeah,
answer.
let me
You asked the
finish.
question two
Let me
times. Let me
finish.
answer.
Hold on, honey.
Holy shit.
Uh, Your last name is in Spanish. So how you think this country, this government, gonna looking at you and say you are white because your last name is a Smith, or whatever Polish name or Irish name or English name? How you think you white? How?
Hispanic is simply an ethnicity created by the crossing of phenotypes between Mediterranean white people and South Central and Caribbean Native Americans. That's the Hispanic, or sorry, not Hispanic. Hispanic means you're from a Spanish-speaking country. That is it. It doesn't mean you're brown or anything, or it just means your country that you were born in or that you descend from speaks Spanish.
It
Ethnicity is a
means you're
different
Okay.
thing.
indigenous.
No, it does
He's
not.
indigenous,
It means you're from a
Beauty.
Spanish-speaking country.
Honey, he's
And
indigenous.
Isaiah,
That's
you're
fine.
wrong. What is your last
Is it?
name?
What color are you?
Um,
Doesn't matter the color because I have Italian last name
She
and I
got
have a
white
Spanish
guilt.
last name
I
and
could
I look
tell
black.
already. She got white guilt.
So
I gotta go.
I don't understand. So, ay Dios mío.
yeah, he's wrong.
Birdie, where you from,
Wrong
honey?
about what? What he wrong about?
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, my husband was a recruiter. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. On his birth
Exactly.
certificate, it says that he would be white. He would obviously someone is white. That's why they put him as white. I would go off of his mother. That's the first thing. Not his father. My
Kruger,
father
this
was
is what the
Mexican. My father is
uh-huh.
Mexican. My mother is white. So it would go
Right.
off of my mother, not my father. That's the first thing. As a recruiter,
And
my
why you go
husband
by the
was a
mother?
recruit. My husband was a recruiter in the Navy. So that's how they would go off of it. That's why they put him as white. That's the first thing. The
So
second
you
They
thing,
don't.
say
They hold on. That's lies because they don't put it
no,
anything. He has to
they don't put anything.
choose. He has to choose.
Yes.
Like it's
he
illegal
can
for any.
choose.
It's
But
illegal for
when he is
anybody
You
to
choose.
born,
choose for you.
but I'm saying
Birdie.
when he is born,
No, Birdie. What happened is you go what you choose on the application. For example, right? For me, I put as a Hispanic or Latina, and I'm brown skin like a Lopez, right? But the thing is, even my grandfathers are Europeans, but one of my grandmothers is black Brazilian, right? Because when you live close to the other country like Brazil, Uruguay, I don't know if you know what is Uruguay, right? And you mix, and the other side Dominican, so you go by who you think you are.
No,
You
he
don't
was
go
born in
by
so
what
he
you
said he
look
was
like.
excuse me, he was born in California. So I was born in California. What I'm saying is in California, they will go off of the mother. They're not going to go off of the father. I was born
Okay,
in
if you go by
California, and the
in California,
mother,
go by the mother.
his mother was born. So his mother was born in California. His father, wherever. My brother was also born in California, and the way they do it in
Mm.
California is they're going to go off of the mother. His mother was
Okay,
more than
That's
likely white.
I
I've
never
never
hear
heard
that.
this in my life. I've never heard this
Me
in my
either.
So
life.
I have a question. Brother, you do have
In
more knowledge than
California, they
me.
go off. Hold on, give me a second. You're telling me in California they go off the mother? I've
My
never heard
mother?
that.
Me
so
I've never
either.
heard that. The
so
only time
the
I've
one
heard, the only time I've ever heard going off the mother
Hola,
is in
chomba, sube.
it's in the Jewish ethnic the Jewish ethnicity. That's the one they go by the mother. I've never heard it in any other way.
they like to do that if the mother is white and the father is Mexican.
Honey. Okay, so they go by the mother, right? So I got a question for you. In Hawaii, they go by the mother as well?
Yeah, they like to do that because it's a
In Hawaii
racial
too.
thing that they
So
like
I'm
to
gonna give
do.
you an example. This is so funny, right? So Barack Obama, right, the ex-president of the United States, his mother is Irish, she's white American, and the father is from Kenya, black. But why they put him as an African American when he's a mulatto? That's my question. It's a good question to ask. You think, Lopez? Oh, I'm wrong because I gotta go because I'm working. What do you think about Obama when his mother is full white, raised in the white household, right, in Hawaii, and he lived too in Indonesia because the mother, after he done with his father, was in Indonesia with Indonesian men. My question is, what is Obama for you? He look Hispanic. He look like every other mixed person. What do you think he is?
Are you asking me? Are you
Yes,
asking the panel?
I ask you.
All right,
Oh,
You must be nasty. I don't want to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't engaged as I should have been. I just was hearing in and out
Okay,
because I'm dealing with
Lopez,
people. But
Lopez. My question is because you say in California and Hawaii they go by the
I
mother.
didn't say Hawaii,
Do
but I
you
know.
remember, Lopez? Hold on one second,
no,
Lopez.
she didn't. Hold on, Gabby. She didn't say Hawaii. You asked her if it's the same in Hawaii, and then she did say
Yes,
yes. So, okay.
yes, but she
So then you
said that
bring
they go
up.
by the mother.
Hold on. So then you bring up Barack Obama.
No, because she said in Hawaii and Hawaii and in California they go by the mother, and Barack Obama mother is white, right? 100%. So what we gonna do about that? And he's a mulatto, but in United States say he's black, so it's not true, correct?
Nah.
Or I'm wrong?
In the United States, he's not black. He's Kenyan and white American. That's what he is. He's
Exactly,
not black.
but
But
they
look,
say
give me a second, Gabby, because I got other people that's
sure, sure,
up
sure,
here.
sure.
Let me see what's up with White Life. Unless Birdie wanted to say, but let me see what's up with White Life.
All
What
you
up, White Life?
Hispanics could suck my fat dick, you heard? Fuck the whole Hispanic community. Y'all all need to burn in hell, you heard?
Yeah, you're right. I don't like Hispanics either. I'm Dominican though.
Yes, you skipped me.
Anybody that speaks
I'm
Spanish need to
Dominican.
burn in hell.
Hey, no,
Oh,
so all right, so
nice.
explain your beef though, for real. I want to
Yeah,
hear.
why you mad,
Explain
White?
my beef. First of all,
Why you
how
sound like a
y'all
black
let
American? Why you sound like a black American? Why you talking like what? You white, but you think you black? What's going on over there? B Rad, what's up with you, B Rad? Why you talking like? Why did you curse us out in white vernacular? Why do you have to do it in what you perceive black to be?
Okay, so I was skipped. I didn't come up here to like ramble on about the
Go
topic. I
ahead.
just
What's up, Princess?
thank you. I just came up here to correct the guy on top of me. So white men created a couple things, but not any of the things that you see and use today, outside of like mayonnaise and mustard and all that shit. The
That's not
stoplight
true.
was absolutely invented by a black man. These things that you are speaking is like pseudo history that you heard probably in some Republican room because you want to be YT so bad. But let me tell you something. when I am on these kind of panels and shit like that, or when I'm on social media, period, Facebook and TikTok and carrying on, this is the only place where this kind of blatant ignorance is spewed. In real life, nobody's going to stand on a street corner with you or go into a corporate office with you and have these conversations and listen to you spew those lies.
Exactly, but hold on, princess. But look, there's a
I'm
reason.
sure. I'm listening.
That's the reason that this works here online is because you're right. You're correct. People are. This is uncomfortable conversations to have. Like you saw how White Life came up here talking wild. Like he wouldn't walk up to anybody talking like that. That's just
Yes, I
something
would. I
that he
don't
would
put my
know.
hands and feet on plenty of individuals.
Hands and feet white. So are you consider yourself white here in the United States, sir?
Listen, I consider myself American first before anything, before
But
any
there is no
color.
such thing. There's no. Are you? Hold on. Are you?
Wait,
Do
go
you?
back to the 1877 dictionary and go look up the
It
term
was
American.
1828 is what you're
Yeah,
talking referring to.
1828. Go look up the term
Yeah,
American. You know what's going on.
Webster's dictionary.
Yeah,
But
you know what's up.
are you ethnically white here in the United States?
He's black. I saw his picture. He's
Listen,
black.
No, he's not.
listen. Black
Is
and
he
He's
white,
black.
black?
before black and white became a
Gabi,
racial
espérate.
construct, there was a class system. The black people, you could have been black, white, or whatever. If you didn't have a lot of money, you were labeled as black. If you were wealthy, you were labeled as white.
Just want to know
What?
what is your
Huh?
Go look it up, yo.
Eh,
You know,
What do I gotta look up?
The British had white slaves. Their white slaves were called the N-word. White people were called the N-word first. Look it up.
What? No, they weren't the first ones to be called that. You're
Look it
talking about
up.
the Irish. You're talking about the Irish and the Italians
I'm talking about the
and the
Slavs.
Polish. Yeah, you're
From
talking about the Polish, the Italians, and the Irish were the ones that were called. They weren't called the N word.
the
Where?
Balkans. Listen, everybody that was considered Caucasian from the Caucasus regions, you gotta do your homework. Y'all were
Nah,
the
you
original N-words.
just
That's a fact. Because y'all
that's
didn't
that.
have no
I'm not.
intellectual.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm
But y'all know,
Dominican.
listen, everything that the white T man put on a black man, just know the white T man had that label first. When black people were going around civilization building, colonization building, they were not called N-words. The people who didn't have a hierarchy, didn't have a written language, didn't have no type of civilization building like the cave dwellers, they were the original N-words. Look it up.
Okay, Wildlife. Lopez, look at his
Hey,
name,
What's
right? On
up?
the
princess.
profile. His name
I
is
don't know.
Wildlife as a
I
black
don't
man.
know.
I am done. I gotta go. Have a good day because I can do this.
I got you. Yeah, I don't think he's talking about that type of white though, Gabby. I think he's
See, they
talking about
don't know the
another one.
history in America.
All right. I have the prompt up of
Hold
talking
on.
about
Can I talk
trying
to?
to figure out white people culture here in America. Is
They were
anyone?
not called white people, bro.
Can I talk to princess real
Look,
quick?
first of all, look. Let me set the stage. I got you. I got you, him. Let me just set the stage and reset the stage. There are people here in the United States that now consider themselves ethnically white because they're so far removed from whatever amalgamation of European that they are. I'm talking about those people, the ones that say, "Well, I'm just come from Kentucky," and I asked my grandpops where we from, and he said Kentucky. Those type of people I'm talking about that just consider when you ask them, what's your ethnicity?" They say, "I'm white." Those are the ones I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying, but like I don't even like that you use the pale faces from the South. A lot of pale faces from the South have black people ancestral in their family tree.
Those are the ones that have
So
not done
even though they're
any
calling
type of.
themselves white,
the shit was
that's
involuntary though. It was through, chattel slavery and
that's
them having slaves
listen,
and procreating them.
we have a lot of black families that were generation of slaveholders in this country. I don't think you know that. Especially a lot of families in the South that
It's
they told us,
the
listen,
same. We're
listen,
talking
they
about
told
the
us,
Moors supposedly
they
found the
told
Europeans in caves with tails and shit, and they were sick, and the black man created the cage and shit, so they would stop unaliving from sleeping and eating with their animals and all of that. All of that shit is prehistoric bullshit. We are talking
no,
about
that's European history. Now when they came over here and they settled with the Native Americans and the African slaves that came over, that's when shit started to change. But keep in mind, the average European that came here in the 1800s, they came here poor. A lot of them came here as indentured service, and others came here as slaves.
I know
Those
All
are the
right, look,
same white people.
before we continue, just give me a second. Let me see what Saga is about because they have a low following. What's up, Saga?
Hello.
How we doing? I just want to make sure you're a real
I'm good.
person.
Yeah.
And are you considered ethnically white here in the United States?
No, I'm from Sweden.
All
I
right,
hope
you're
it's fine.
Swedish. No, all right.
Yes.
All
So
right. So maybe let now, guys. Let's take a second. And are you living in Sweden or you living here in the United States?
I actually live in Bulgaria, so Eastern
Or you
Europe.
live in
But I
Bulgaria? All
am
right. I
from
know it.
Sweden.
All right. So now I have a question for you. What do you perceive? Do you understand that there's people here in the United States that consider themselves ethnically white?
I mean, yes, we are seeing a lot of like American stuff on TikTok and stuff.
Okay. So what do you
What
what do you what do
the,
you what do you consider ethnically? I mean, what do you consider ethnically white culture here in the United States? What do you see it from afar? What do you see?
I would say that it's like Thanksgiving. Like I don't know exactly, but America is in the beginning not a country where it was very like mixed people. Can you give me a second? My husband just came home. I just need to
All
open the
right.
door.
Go
Wait,
ahead, do that. Do that.
I will join soon. Give me a second.
No, don't worry. Go ahead. Let me while you're there, let me see what's up the
Princess.
Sorry.
slow. Hold
See,
on
Princess.
she's
before
about to
hold on.
start cooking. Word
Hold
up.
on. Hold on. There she got in trouble though.
Princess, look in the chat.
All right, look, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. As I bring people up, I just want to introduce them. What's up, Solo? I see that you don't have camera access, so you're safe. What's
Yo,
up,
what's up,
Solo?
man? What's up?
All right, all right. I just want
What? No, go ahead.
No, I wanted to hear her perspective because she's coming from, it's very interesting how other so-called racially white people from Europe look at what white American culture is all about. They
Exactly.
they look at it totally different than they try to I think they try to carve it out as well. But what you got on it, Solo?
No, I just wanted to. I think somebody up there said that though. First, people called niggers was white people.
That's
I
The
think
N
exactly.
word,
that.
that's white. That's what
I
white
think that.
life
I
said.
think that's big false.
Yeah,
I came to
I know.
clarify that too. I looked it up. I don't know if Lopez will let me read it.
No, I already know what it is, but go ahead, Chumba, if you would like to.
I feel like the first
Okay.
people who was called in was American Indians. You could Google
Yes.
that and look that
They were
up.
calling the Slavics that too.
Yeah, but they were not the
No, they
first ones being
weren't.
called. So
Slavs is
look,
called
the
Slavs
when if you look up white N word on what you'll find is Irish, Italians, and Polish that were called that here
because
in the United
They
States.
were
Though
not
They
it,
even
it
was
never
worded
happened in Europe.
because
not
yeah,
even
because they
them,
was swarthy.
according
It had
to
nothing to
British
do with it.
colonial.
All right, so
Not
what do you
even
got,
them.
Chomba? Let's let Chomba read what she got there and then we'll continue. Go ahead.
Okay, so prior to 1776, white was not simply a synonym for wealthy. It was a legal and social category that evolved in British colonies, but wealth and race were distinct, even though they often intersected. Here's the historical context. Before the late 1600s, in the early English colonies, social divisions were based more on class and legal status than on race. Poor English indentured servants, free laborers, and enslaved Africans sometimes worked together and in some cases resisted colonial elites together, for example, during the Bacon Rebellion. Emerge of whiteness. After even like Bacon Rebellion, colonial government increasingly enacted law distinguishing Europeans from Africans. During the late 1600s and 1700s, Europeans were increasingly classified as white. Enslaved people and their descendants were legally classified as black and subjected to lifelong hierarchy slavery. That include indigenous, everything that they were enslaved. Colonial elite granted certain legal and political privileges to poor Europeans, such as easier access to land, voting rights, and many men and legal protections that were denied to enslaved individuals. Many historians argue that these policies help create broader white identity that cross class lines. So, in summary, could a wealthy black person be considered white? No. A free black man could accumulate property or become relatively prosperous in some colonies, but wealth did not change their legal racial classification. Laws generally continue to distinguish people based on ancestry rather than economic status.
Yeah, I think what he was referring to, and White Life can correct me if I'm wrong. I think what you were referring to is people that came here from these Slavic countries that weren't officially, though they were white legally, they weren't treated like white, and then they had to become white later, or
That's a
except they
fact
weren't.
because they
That,
didn't call them white. They was calling them pale faces and all type of names back in the day.
Yeah,
And
but
I
if a
want to ask the
black
lady a
person is
question.
wealthy, they were not calling them white either,
Okay,
as you
listen.
mentioned.
So, do you think that majority of the Europeans that came here in the late 1400s, 1500s, 1600s were all white people?
No, we're not saying that.
Okay,
no, there was
The
I just wanted to
Moors
Moors.
came
clarify
over
Yeah,
that.
here.
yeah, yeah.
So, when you say only Europeans could be white, there were also black Europeans that were classified as white.
Of course,
Okay,
hold on.
No, they were not
But
you
what is
just
a
classified
said
as
black
that
white.
though.
Hold
what
on,
is
Hold
a
up,
hold on.
hold
black
up.
European?
Hold on, is he talking about no? Are you talking about the white passing?
I'm
Is
talking
that what he's
about
talking?
Europeans in general.
He's talking about the Moors that came with the Europeans.
No, I'm not even talking about the Moors.
But what is a black European?
A black European would be somebody like a Jacobite. Y'all heard
That's
of the
not a Moor.
Jacobites, the Stuarts,
The
the
Jacobites.
last, yeah, the Jacobites, the Stuarts. You know, Stuart is a word that means black, dark skin. There were a lot of black people living throughout Europe amongst the white tea folks, and they starting to put that in shows on Netflix now, where it was black folks and white folks living together. It wasn't
Yeah.
just Europe wasn't majority just white, and the black people in Europe weren't majority poor. Those are the same people that came over here to the Americas. So you saying that all Europeans were labeled white? That's why I asked you, do you think that all the Europeans that came here at that time were white? And you just said no. So now that goes back to what I was saying. Black people were considered white as well. What is just only for white people?
That makes no
So you
sense
telling
to
It
me
don't
me.
make
the
I'm a
sense
little.
if
people that
you
came over in
just
the
explain the
1500s.
distinction.
So
How
the
you
people
gonna
that
say
came
the
over in
same
the
that they didn't exist?
1500s,
The distinction didn't exist.
labeled
No,
as white, could have had dark skin like a black person. That's what you're saying.
that's a fact.
Yeah, there's dark white people.
Some
There's
black
No,
tan
people.
white people.
no, listen.
Which I think
Okay,
they
cool.
consider
But what is a
swarthy.
black
They consider
European?
that swarthy, or what's the other term
Swarthy
that was
is
used?
my skin, dark, brown, tan.
That's not what swarthy is.
You can
All
look
Swarthy
it
right.
is
up.
No.
You
dark
can look it
skinned.
up.
Look. Anyway,
Dark
look.
is
I
dark,
got
but not
someone.
the dark you thinking of.
Can somebody
Let me
fact check me?
hold on, hold on. So look, before we go too deep with what's going on, I have somebody
Thank you, Lopez. I'm done.
nine Gale asking, hey Lopez, can you explain why you think the way you do about the prompt for educational reasons? All right. So my thing is this. Look, my people from immigrant background, my people come here in 1970s is when I start here in the United States. I can obviously carve out what Black American culture is here in the United States, but it's very hard for me to do that when it comes to ethnically white people here in the United States. So that's why I asked this question. I don't do it to, even though it may look a little clickbaity with the little Mayo and Nick Fuentes, but I'm asking for real, like, what is it that ethnically white people do as a collective, the same way like what I know as black, the ethnicity of black here in the United States, and what they do as a collective? Like, what is it that they share that makes them sorry, what is it that they share that makes them an ethnicity here in
Their
the United States?
civilizations. Like look at their country.
Civilizations.
That don't make sense though.
Look at their
Stuff was
country.
already here when they came before they
That's not
came.
true, bro. Stop it. Stop your shit right now. They
You must
destroyed
be an
everything.
African. You
All
need
right,
to calm
whatever.
down
No,
focus
Yeah,
on
whatever.
Africa.
He's
No, 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 no.
Jamaican.
You
He's
complain.
Jamaican.
You
That's even
complain.
worse.
No, 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 no. You complain
You're not
about
even on
them.
the
You
mainland,
complain
but you
about
all
them
up in
burning your
mainland
cities
business.
down, and now you talk about it was already established. Stop your shit. What you the
The
best? The
Native
best. Hold on.
Americans
The
had
best you have. The
civilization here,
best you
bro.
have is what's in New Orleans right now. That's the best you've ever had. Right? And they
What?
didn't. Yes, you heard
What
me.
about Memphis?
What does Memphis look like? Shit.
They got what? He'll come
Highest
on. He don't
crime
know
rate,
about
one of
the
the highest
mounds.
crime
He don't know
rates in the
about the
United States.
pyramids. He don't know
Okay, what
nothing.
was that? Was that all right? So
You're a
now look.
Jamaican.
No, no,
Stop
no, no, no,
speaking
no,
on American business,
no, no,
man.
no. All right. So you
That's why
tell
we looking
me
at y'all funny
what
right
the no,
now.
no. What the fuck is a monk mound to a skyscraper? Tell me.
Huh?
What's a monk mound to a skyscraper?
You know the mounds were an ancestral burial place, right?
I don't give a fuck what
That's
they
what I'm
were.
saying. You
I'm
disrespecting my
saying. I'm
ancestors now.
saying. It's shit. It's
Look, stay on your
shit.
little shitty ass island, all right? Y'all already dealing with
What I'm
enough.
saying is the
Y'all don't want black
infrastructure that you
Americans
had
on y'all
here
bumper.
was shit until white people came, cleared the fucking land,
He
and
from
built what
South
the fuck they
Africa because
wanted.
he talking like one.
That's the facts. That's what happened.
Look,
That's
you
what
can say
happened.
South. You can
They
say
literally cleansed the
white
land
South
and built what
Africans
the fuck
built
they
up,
wanted.
or
Have
white
you not seen
Europeans
the
built up South
structures from
Africa, but you
the
can't say they built up
1600s,
America.
1500s? Europeans
What?
wasn't here during them times, so you can't say Europeans came along and did
Okay, so
this.
what establishment that you
He
have
Jamaican.
right
He don't
now?
know no
No,
better.
no, 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 no.
1500s, they don't know no history. They think they
No,
know our
so
history and try
listen.
to
So
come and tell
what?
us, hop on these panels and tell us what the fuck they think we know.
Okay, so what establishments do you have right now that's from the 1500s? Go.
Got
What?
destroyed, you dumbass.
Good. Stop saying what and answer me, dickhead. What
Yo,
establishments do you
anybody
have from
could
the
go fact check.
1500s?
The
We
same
don't
way
have to
y'all
fact
fact
check.
checking
St.
me.
Augustine was built in 1508 by the Spaniards, white Spaniards.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. What I'm talking about, black people.
Right.
What have you established from the 1500s that's still standing right now?
Wait, I got a question. Do you think all the conquistadors were just white people?
Ponce de Leon was,
That's one of many. Do you
and
think they all was
he's
white?
the one who established St. Augustine. If you knew your history, who it's just still standing. I can go to right now, drive an hour from
That's
my house,
good.
and get to
But you
St.
ain't
Augustine.
answer my question. Was all the conquistadors white?
They were, unless they made a slave white.
Yo, can somebody
Citizens.
fact
No,
check,
that's
man? They
not.
had the
All wasn't
Moors and
white.
all
No,
them
no,
working for
we're
them,
not
man.
gonna
Come
do
on,
that. We're
man.
not gonna do that.
They all wasn't white. No.
If
No, no,
people look,
no.
look,
See,
hold on. Look, what we're not gonna do is we're not
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
if they
that.
had the
There's
Moors,
things.
Moors aren't African. Moors are
When
more
nobody
Arab.
says no, Moreno. What's Moreno, Gallo?
Yeah, Moreno's black. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Checkmate.
look, all right. So look, my thing is like we don't have like if you guys don't know anything about that history, even the navigators that sailed with Christopher Columbus, they were Moors that knew how to
Speaking
use.
Hebrew, they don't know.
So yeah, we can't do that. If you don't know anything about that history, like we don't have
Hebrew
to
is not
go over.
black, bro. What the fuck are you? What are you bragging about?
It's not
He
That's
about
the
first
Middle
being.
of all,
Eastern people, and Middle
ask
Eastern
No,
yourself.
people are damn near
Europeans
European
and
Okay,
white
too.
people running around this
ask
fucking
yourself
earth.
No,
how
no,
a
no, no, no,
black.
no, no, no,
Listen,
no. Let's
I
get
don't
that
understand how
together.
y'all let.
Mesopotamia is full of damn near white people. You understand that,
okay.
right?
Ask
That ain't
yourself how
niggas
a
over
black
there.
person from Europe was able to speak the same language as the same people who lived in the land that they never been to before.
That's not true though, White Life. So if you really want to talk about what happened with Columbus and all that, is that the reign of the Moors, at the end of the reigns of the Moors, is when um it was after that Christopher Columbus then
That was
sailed
the
here.
Spanish Inquisition. They was
So
killing them all
so we're
out.
talking about
The Moors
Yeah,
ruled Iberian Peninsula from 1319 to
the
1792,
no, it
which was
the
wasn't
last
13.
stronghold was
No,
Granada.
that's not
sorry,
correct.
319.
Okay, all right. So yeah, exactly. So that's what they call the Dark Ages of Europe. So look, this is my thing. This is my thing though. I believe that what happened was is that the Moors was already coming over here to the Americas, but they were just doing trade and they understood a trade language, and that's why when the Iberians, because that's what they were before they became Spanish and Portuguese, they just took over or tried to do the same what the Moors were already doing for hundreds of years. That's why they knew how to get here. That whole myth of Christopher Columbus, I'm thinking he was reaching India, like that's all bullshit. Or
So,
trying to
so
prove,
Lopez,
or
why
trying
they
to
didn't
prove that
connect
the
the West
world
and
was
East?
round. Like
They already knew
Why,
how to
why
get to
didn't they
China.
connect the
yeah,
East
they
from the West in trade?
there's maps in Europe that show that there was a land over here before Christopher Columbus ever sailed. So like
Oh,
like we
oh,
can't do this bullshit, man.
okay,
That's
fine.
a
So
fact.
I'm saying why they never connected the East to the West like the Europeans did or the Spaniards did when
They
they
what
started
you
cotton
mean?
trade. When they did the cotton trade, they connected the East and the West. They connected the two worlds. That's really what it was. It was the pioneer of connecting the East and the West. So yeah, we existed. We just ain't know each other existed. So until we started trading on the east, on the west coast to the east coast, we started exporting cotton. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what were you doing on the east coast? So if you was here on the east coast doing all your thing, right? What were you doing?
What you
What is the
mean?
evidence? What is the evidence? Where's your coliseums? Like where? Like
What
where's
does
your?
cotton grow naturally in the United States? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. That was again.
What?
That was
Cotton,
that.
rice,
Cotton grew wild here
rubber.
in the like there was a lot of indigenous crops here that just grew wild, and then you had to, for mass producing it, you use agricultural techniques, but things grow wild here in the United
Like
States.
tomatoes. Yeah.
700%, 700, yeah. Even if you look up heirloom tomatoes and what they look like 700 of the crops that are in Africa come from the Americas. Like
That's a
there's
fact. We
stuff that
feed
grew
y'all.
wild here. Yeah.
Fact.
So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's stuff that just grow wild here, and then it's been through agricultural techniques. Now it's being mass produced. Yeah, but like, come
No,
on, man,
but
we're
you
not
said
doing
the
that.
Now,
Moors.
look,
The
if you
Moors
know
taught
that,
the
right?
white
If you know
people
that we
about
have
trade. Correct.
Yes, you go look it up, bro. Even the white
I don't
folks are
believe.
saying it.
I don't
Hold
believe.
on.
I
So
don't. Hold on.
where's the
No,
record of that?
no.
Who?
What I'm saying is that they were already Moors coming here. They just didn't come over here trying to push that Papa Bull and put Christianity on people and believe that what the Pope said, saying
Facts.
that as long as you're bringing them Christianity, you can rule that land. Like that's not how the
What's
Moors
that? The
came over here.
1455 paper bull?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like, if you know anything, anyway, whatever. We not.
No, but I mean, where's the proof of that though?
You could go look it up, brother.
What's his name? We know Christopher Columbus. What's
You
this
know,
Moor's name?
Othello.
Who? No, I
Othello.
don't.
Oh,
Motello.
so he
No.
don't even know. Moors was in Italy too doing their thing, man. You don't even know. And they was
But
in
more.
Germany.
Okay, so why were you talking about Moors like they're black?
No, well, they're not. Look, so I believe that
They're
there are
not black.
some.
Like, why you keep talking about
Hold on,
Moors,
hold
bro?
on, hold on. Look, this is the wild part too, because I do believe that there are Moors, or there's people that have descendancy of Moors that are today black here.
That's
Not
not
only.
true.
You know, the
All right,
Moors fighting
That's
damn.
not
force was
true.
made of Africans, right?
There's some
Moors
black
were just
Americans
in
that have more.
Africa.
No, they
Africa. That
wasn't.
does
They
not
was in the
mean they
Middle
were
Oh
East
Lord.
too.
black.
Shout out
that's
to Ottoman
false.
Turks.
That's
See, look,
false.
you don't know what you're talking about.
False.
You don't know what you're talking about. When the Moors invaded Spain, the majority of their fighting force was from Africa, East Africa, North Africa, and West Africa. So for you to sit here and say it wasn't no black Moors, you sound
Moors were
crazy.
Spaniards. Those people. Let me tell you something. Being having a certain hue or a
Ma'am,
certain
ma'am,
color
ma'am.
does not make you black. The
Is- oh,
Spaniards were. I mean, the Moors were
Exactly.
Hold on.
Spaniards. They
No,
only
they
came here.
weren't.
Yes,
They
they
weren't.
are.
Hold
From
on. Stop, guys. Look,
Mesopotamia.
when did Spain become Spain?
After the Roman Empire fell, they don't even know.
No, hold on. When did Spain become Spain? Because they were not Spaniards. Spain became Spain in the 1400s. It wasn't always Spain. It was known as the Iberian Peninsula.
So
Yup,
who
So
you
was
they
had
there?
weren't.
the
So if you
Visigoths.
how can you have Moors controlling that region for over 700 years, but they were Spaniards? Like no, that's not how it works.
Crazy. How do you think that we are in the predicament we are now as Black Americans, as indigenous or Dominicans? Colonization. Like when HIM, I think, was up there saying that Africans don't have no food right now and this and that and the third. That should piss me the fuck off because if you are the what did you call it? If you are the header of a nation, if you are say you are a Congolese king and this is your tribe, if a Caucasian or some weird motherfucker who you ain't never see before come to your tribe and say, hey, I understand you've been here for 300 generations and your family is doing well, but I want to conquer this area. Are you going to say, yeah, sure, conquer the area, fuck this, I'm ready to go anyway? Or are you going to say, carry that shit down the street, you ain't doing that over here? So that is where the conversation comes
They
from
didn't come
with
to
black
conquer.
people.
They came to share.
That's where the conversation comes from with black people selling slaves. They didn't sell anything. They didn't have anything to do with that shit. They didn't get no monetary gain from that.
Well,
Hey,
we can't say
princess,
that. We
Here,
can't
princess,
say that.
princess.
also,
So
I'm listening.
if that was true, right? They came to share, right? The first fight that they had was
Didn't
because.
have anything. They
What do
didn't
you
come to
mean?
share shit. They came to steal and destroy,
Okay,
which is
okay,
you
okay,
people
fine,
not.
fine. Listen,
To
hold
my
on. No,
point.
no, 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 no. Stop, real quick.
No.
You
I'm
no,
about to
you've
land
been.
my plane and then I'll
Oh
let
my
you
God, bro.
go. if somebody
Africans were
came over
selling
to your
Africans, by
town,
the way.
if you're not selling them, when you sell something, you get something. They didn't get shit.
They was getting
To be able to live
gunpowder
and
and
not
all
be
that. It's all
unalive.
documented.
Listen, so anyway, if somebody came into your area and
It
started
sounds
fucking up the
crazy.
irrigation and making the agriculture fucked up, you wouldn't be able to properly grow shit either. All of your people will have HIV and be diseased and shit too. Y'all gotta think about what the fuck people been through before y'all sit here and try to mix up history and then have other people who are not even fucking
Hey,
black claiming the
princess,
wrong history. You are trying
princess.
You
to
crashing out.
No. Right now,
Nah, I'm
right now,
because I'm
no.
up here with a
Right now,
pseudoscience
if
fucking
no,
Uncle
listen.
Ruckus, which is him, and
Okay,
a
Uncle Ruckus, we
fucking
talking about real
Down
Miss,
history
syndrome
here.
listen to
retard
me. Listen to
who
me
was
right
off the
now.
promethazine,
All
which is
right.
white light. What the fuck is wrong with you ninjas? Are
Okay,
y'all
so
down?
listen, where you
Are
at
y'all
right now?
cool?
You in America?
I am certainly in America, baby. I am from
Okay,
Charleston,
okay,
South
fine.
Carolina.
That's
My
cool.
The
people from
fuck,
So
we
Charleston,
are.
South
listen,
I am in
Carolina.
the
listen,
state. I
listen,
am in the
just
state where the
listen.
first ship from chattel
Yep.
slavery was
Miss,
dropped off
And the
at.
Jews
So
miss,
controlled
just
that.
you
listen, just
misinformed motherfuckers
listen.
Yep.
ain't about to tell me
And the
shit.
And
Jews
look,
controlled that
listen,
slave port. And they was fighting with the
princess,
Maroons. I know the
princess,
history
look,
of South Carolina.
if
Listen,
we
the
were supposed to
Maroons.
take a flight to Africa right now, princess, if we were supposed to take a flight to Africa right now, they would tie us up in a room and vaccinate us before our ass go out there. You hear
I
me?
don't know. I don't
Native
know what
Valley
she
No,
style.
no,
said.
no, no.
I don't
Hold on,
know
hold
what.
on, hold on.
Hold on. Oh, I know
No,
what she
no,
said.
no.
All right, give me. Hold on.
Just
Hold
to be
on.
able
Hey,
to
hold on. Him. I just want to let everybody know why she was removed. You cannot use the re word. TikTok picks that up and makes me drop them. Just so you know. So she was removed because of that.
And she acting like we don't know the history of South Carolina. The first slave port was controlled, operated by who? The small hats. They was fighting the Maroons too at the same
right. That
time.
was like the biggest slave port during that time.
Yeah, like I got people from down there too. She
Yeah,
talking
but
like
look, before we go too far in history and all that, just some Gallo's been up here. Gallo, do you want to tell me? And even Solo, I don't know. Even Birdie, has anybody attempted to attack the prompt and explain to me what white ethnically people? Because I think that's how we got here.
I'm
Ethnically
still trying to
white.
figure it out.
What is
I
their
told
culture?
you the everything cars.
You can't do
No,
everything,
listen. All
man. That
right,
sounds
fine. I'm listing
wild.
them: cars, highways, trains, everything, steam engines, like
So you hold on. So
combustion
you're
engines.
hold on, him.
What about these things?
You
What about
equate.
these things that
Hold
they
on. Give me a second. Give me a second. You equate these inventions as a culture.
Inventions is culture. Why
not
do y'all
even that?
think
Who
it's
you
no, no, no,
giving
no,
this
no?
credit
Stop,
to?
stop, stop.
Who are you
You
giving this
see,
credit to?
you see. Y'all are so simple. Y'all think culture is just rapping or the way you wear your
No, that's
clothes and
what you
eating.
think we think.
No, no, no,
No.
no, no. Because nobody
How you gonna tell
contribute.
me what I think? You don't even
No.
know me.
Okay. Well,
This your problem. This
white
is your
culture
problem.
is inventing shit. That's inventions. That's what they do. They move you out of the fucking dark age. They put you under microscopes and tell you about fucking microbiology. That's white culture. They don't bullshit. Now they're taking you to space. If you want to keep bullshitting, keep acting like white people not doing nothing and they terraforming the fucking world. They're a minority and they only country with migration issues. They're a global minority with mass immigration issues. So stop telling me, oh,
Do
white
you
people
know
ain't doing
any?
shit. White people
Do
is
you know any
leading
black
the
Hold
fucking
on.
archaeologists?
No,
civilization.
hold
I got
on.
a
Give me a
question.
second.
Do you
Give me a
have
second,
any?
Solo.
Do you
Hold
know
on,
any
Solo.
black scientists, black archaeologists, black space people? Do you know any black astronauts? Do you know
Yeah,
any black people who
my thing
documented
is, look, my thing is just because I
the fuck
say
you
they
think
have
about
no
this?
culture.
Who
Hold on, Solo.
pioneered this stuff?
Oh no, my thing is just because I have a prompt that says white people have no culture in America, that doesn't mean anything about them not doing shit. I'm just saying they don't have anything that
Nah,
they
but it's
share. They don't
stupid to
have
say something like that. What do
listen.
black
They
people
don't
share?
give me a second. Give me a second. They don't have any shared beliefs. They don't have any
What are
values
you
that they
talking
share.
about? Look at
Give
their
him
communities compared to yours.
and
That's a
relax.
shared belief.
Relax, relax. They don't have a shared belief. They don't have shared values. They don't have customs. Or
That's
you
not
can't say
true.
that. Look.
That's not
Look.
true.
Hold
They
on.
don't even season their food. Come on
It
now.
is.
Bruh,
Hold
you
on.
don't have to
Look.
see white people to know you're in a white community.
Hold
That's
on.
what I'm
So
talking about.
explain. All right. So look, this is my thing. You're just only talking about the affluent whites. What about
No,
those
I'm
white?
talking about regular
Give me,
whites.
give me a second. So those white people in the Appalachians. You know
Are you
those
talking
white
about
people?
American whites or not?
I'm talking about American whites, the ones in the
They also have the
Appalachians.
arts and
Hills have eyes.
Yeah, I mean they have different cultures. I'm not saying that they don't have different cultures, but I'm saying who terraformed the fucking world? It's white people, bro. It wasn't us. It wasn't us. We still have water crisis in fucking Africa right now.
That's y'all people. That ain't us. We good in
All right,
America.
fine. You didn't terraform America. They did. It wasn't you.
Who? So
You
you
didn't
said
do
so
this
black
shit.
people,
You're
so without
inhabiting
slaves,
it.
The
so they ain't need
ancestors will
slaves.
slap the shit out you if they heard you talking like that.
Hold up. So they ain't need slaves. They ain't need slaves. They could just do it by themselves. If
Bro,
that
how
was the
much?
case,
No,
they
no,
would
no,
have
no,
never
no, no, no,
fucking
no,
had
no, no. So
slaves, you
let's talk about
idiot.
this.
Look
No,
how
no,
dumb
let's
this
talk about
nigga
this.
sound. It's
No,
always
no,
a
no.
dumb, coon, feather ass nigga,
All right,
boot
dummy.
licking motherfucker,
Let's talk solo, right? The
boot
height
licking
of
ass nigga,
fucking
yo.
slavery. The height of slavery. Only
It's
five.
companies today that still bought
Hold
from
on.
slavery,
Hold
you
on, dickhead.
dumbass.
So
You
only
dickhead. You the
5%.
dickhead. It's corporations that
Well,
still
Only
relax,
buy from
guys.
slavery,
Relax,
you
guys.
dumbass.
Relax.
only 5% of Americans ever owned slaves. You dickhead.
Hold on,
5%.
hold on, hold on.
If they didn't
Give
need
me.
it,
No,
okay, so
no,
why
no.
did they do it?
Hold on,
Why
solo.
did they
Hold on.
do it?
So,
If they could do it and build it
I
themselves, why?
gotta now. I gotta disconnect you too. I don't know what's going on. Look, he said something too. The restriction came up, and you see, I'm getting restrictions left and right. There's a difference between that him. That's the issue. You don't understand how white works here in the United States. The
Yeah,
reason
he
that
from
there's only
Jamaica.
don't
I
there's
love the white man.
I got give me a second. Give me a second. The only reason that the reason that there's only 5% of Americans, white Americans that had slaves is because that's the wasp that is left. Those are the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants that are left. Most of the white people today that are ethnically white here came to Ellis Island in the 1890s, and just because they make up this majority of white doesn't mean that they were all the same white people. That's the issue. People believe like that's not how it works. These people are not white, or they weren't the original WASP Anglo-Saxon whites. Like Raylene over here. Raylene, where your people from?
Germany.
Germany. Do you know that for a fact? Like all of them, or like you have a recent history here in the United States stemming from like 1890s, 1900s, 1910s.
No, 100% of my family's from Germany.
All right, and but you're now ethnically white here in the United States, or do you consider
Yes.
yourself still German? All right, so what is
No.
this culture that you have here in the United States?
Well, referencing that, like, Christmas is a white Christian culture. Like, we have holidays and Easter, and those things are all Christian, part of the Christian culture. So we say that we don't have culture, but Christianity is part of that. Religion is part of culture,
Christianity is white.
typically.
What you mean typically? Where's the Christianity come from? Europe?
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Came
the
from
it
Catholic
Ethiopia.
Church
does.
does.
Where?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where does
So,
Christianity
like,
come from?
that's the thing is, like, the United States is built off of Catholic Christian.
Are we? I think I'm about to have an aneurysm. Where did Christianity come from?
It comes from like Paul and John and Matthew, and a lot of them left
So you're talking about the New
Samaria.
Testament? You're talking about the
Yeah,
New
the New
Testament?
Testament. Yeah, but it
All
comes
right.
from the middle. It comes from the middle from North Africa, I guess.
So
Well,
it's what do you call that? White? You know what's funny? You know what's
Yes.
funny? You know what's
That's
funny?
what you don't
You know
get.
what's
What?
funny? Hold on. You know
That
what's
is
funny?
true.
That was actually the argument made by the Syrians and the Egyptians and the Lebanese. They said that's how they were able to classify as white here in the United States. They said if you believe that your Jesus is white and Jesus comes from our area, then we also must be white. And that's how they got white classification. That was like that's me simplifying it, but that's pretty much was the crux of their argument when it came to court. So
no,
that's how. Yeah,
but
that's exactly how it happened.
no, I did. You're right. But
But
Catholic religion, the
that doesn't make it
Catherine,
that it's white though. Like
the Catholic religion,
so
the
you're talking
Catholic
about Roman
Christianity.
Catholicism, Roman
Yeah,
Catholicism.
that comes from
But
Constantine.
she didn't say Catholicism. She said Christianity.
But Christianity, Catholic is a offset of Christianity. They follow Christian values and Christian beliefs.
Along with paganism.
She bounced because she knows she said some wild shit there, or that was a phone call.
No, she's there. She's there.
Well, I
Oh
mean,
no, she's
Christians
not. No, she's not. She left. Tell the truth.
Christians drink blood and eat body. That's pagan too. So I mean,
That's
it's
what I'm
it's
saying. All
What
the
are you
holidays are
talking
pagan.
about?
Well,
All
even
the
if you look
holidays are
up,
pagan.
the Lord's Supper. Everybody got pagan shit in their stuff.
Not
It's fun.
everybody.
I'm
Everybody
not
do.
Catholic. I don't do.
Christian,
We don't do that.
Christmas,
The
I'm
small
Christmas is a
hats don't
Oh, so
play
you don't
that.
take Lord's
Christmas.
Supper? Okay.
no.
Christmas.
We don't do the whole wine and bread
Yeah,
thing. We don't do that.
Christmas is specifically a pagan holiday. They even say not to do it in the Bible. They say not to
Exactly.
bring in trees and adorn it with gold and silver. Like that's a pagan holiday.
But he gonna
Um,
know because he don't
Yeah.
got
So is
books out there
Easter.
to make it.
and so is Easter exactly. So there. So I guess what? So paganism and holidays that they say not to do in the Bible, but still throwing it under Christianity. Is that what white culture is here in
But
America?
You
but
should
why
have
you
asked
kind of
her. You
downplay
should
it
have asked
like
her
everybody don't celebrate Christmas, bro?
what
Why
Fuck,
Pacific.
why
Not
everybody
why,
don't
why are
everybody
you
celebrate.
doing
doesn't.
that?
Oh
Everybody
man.
doesn't celebrate Christmas though.
Okay, but you know that's the biggest holiday in America, though, correct?
Is
I
Why are
don't
it?
you
know. We
trying
be
to
seeing
why are
y'all
you
on
trying to
TikTok
I
minimize
don't
it?
celebrating.
know.
I think July 4th is the biggest holiday in
Yeah,
America.
yeah,
Wow,
July
wow,
4th,
Yeah,
wow.
because it's
Valentine
not
Day,
I think
religious.
that's the
It's not
it's
religious, so
Valentine Day,
everybody
4th of July.
celebrates it from all
Well, and
religions.
all those other holidays are white people holidays too, so
July
it
4th.
doesn't matter.
July 4th has to be the biggest
4th of July,
holiday
not no white.
because you
Well,
don't
how
have
Fourth
to
of
about
be
Black
July is
Friday
not
is
no
there's
black,
white.
isn't
What?
it? Isn't Black
No,
Friday a black holiday?
No,
no.
No,
nah what?
That was a joke,
no,
man. It's called Black
that's a
Friday.
sale.
It's a joke. I know. It was a joke. I'm sorry.
I mean, some people think it is.
Yeah, it came from slavery.
All
Them
right,
slave
so look,
masters enslaved
let
the
me see what's
Africans.
up with let me see what's up with King, and you came up like you
Yeah, I
had
was just
something
finna
that
ask
was
her. She should have just asked her what they do specifically on Christmas Day or something. You know,
well, what is
they
specific some other yeah.
I don't know. I want her to think about. I
I'll
don't
tell
know.
you
I
what I
don't even
do
know
on
what type
Christmas.
of
I'll
white.
tell you what I do on Christmas
Well,
Day.
she said she's German.
I'll tell
I
you
guess
what
when
I
she
That's
do
what
said
I'm
on
she's
saying.
Christmas
German,
Day.
She's German. Like,
so
doesn't Santa Claus come from
No.
Germany? It was
Okay,
Kraus.
some
Saint Nick,
people
Saint Claus.
in German
Yeah.
will have a specific dish that they make. My Oma and Opa, which was my uncle's parents who were from Germany, will make a specific dish, which is a meat and rice dish wrapped in cabbage. You have to boil the cabbage and then you have to make some.
That shit sound like
That sounds
struggle food.
awful.
man, where the
Uh,
white kid at? Hey,
The
I ain't
Germans,
gonna lie.
the
Hey,
schnitzel
Lopez.
is all the Germans have is
I
the
just ate some
schnitzel.
Dominican food yesterday too, Lopez. I thought
it's
about you.
there's
You
also
enjoyed it?
Uh,
You
like
enjoyed it? You enjoyed
it
it,
was
King? You enjoyed it?
it was
um
cool. It was cool. I gotta get
Hold
some
on, Birdie. What did
yeah.
you
it,
get? What did you get? What did you get?
man,
Do you think?
Arroz
I
con
think.
pollo,
is a well, I don't know the name, but I'm just gonna describe it. It's like it's brown, like brown rice with beans, I think,
Okay,
with some
con
pork
gris.
that's
ribs
Moto.
or
That's Moto.
Yeah.
I think little short pork ribs and some
All right.
chicken
Okay, the chicken with fried or stewed.
stewed.
All right, stewed
Oh yeah,
chicken.
yeah.
Did
That's
you like
awesome.
it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, look, my favorite Dominican food is the one that my grandmother makes. My mother makes. There's no
Find some
restaurant.
water.
There's no restaurant that'll be like, yo, that's it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I haven't
Cause I
found a
had a
restaurant.
choice. Hey, look, I had a choice. It's the Indian food or the Dominican shit. And the Indian shit, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm looking at
I
they
love
shit. I
Indian
don't
They
food,
know,
shit
man.
nasty.
It's
bro.
great. I love it.
Well, how it looked nasty, but everybody say that shit
And they be
fire.
cooking with their shoes off. They
They
don't
No,
be
don't.
no,
washing
They
their
don't
Nah,
cook
hands.
like that in the
nah,
well,
United
nah,
nah, not
nah,
States,
here in the
man.
nah,
United
nah, nah,
States.
nah, nah,
Not
nah,
They don't
nah,
here
do
in
nah.
the
that
United
here.
States.
Not in the United States. I ain't gonna put that on them. No, I
But
ain't gonna do that.
I seen them doing that on TV. Like if you're watching stuff from
Yeah,
India,
but yo, no lie, don't lie. If
they're
you
like
see,
cutting shit with their feet.
you gotta watch out with the ones in like you gotta watch out with the trucks though, the Arabic guys in the trucks. Now they be a little nasty. I seen a lot of videos in NYC them scratching their feet
Oh
and then serving falafel and shit. Like you guys gotta
yeah,
watch it.
the rats and the shit. And
My favorite dish that my abuela makes for Christmas is menudo.
I like menudo too. Who was your
Oh my
favorite?
bad. They said go
Mine's
back.
Ricky
I changed the
Martin.
topic. They said go back to the white coat to talk with the German girl. What's your German dish, Birdie? Are you
No, she's
German?
not. Birdie got some German ancestry.
My Oma and Opa, who are from Germany, It was a Spanish, or not Spanish, but it was a cabbage dish. I never ate the cabbage. It's disgusting. But it was a German dish that they did with hamburger and rice wrapped in cabbage leaves. And then there was baklava that they would make at Christmas.
Now, where the white tea women that make the pumpkin pie? They how they begin niggas though. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
love
I do
pumpkin
not know
pie.
how to make pumpkin pie, but I do make a mean from scratch apple pie.
My wife doesn't know how to make pumpkin pie, but she knows how to buy it.
Where you got your white woman?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, not for unfortunately, because I love her. But
Do she
yeah, but
season her food?
she can't.
What?
No, no, she.
What type
No,
of
I
white?
cook. I
What type
cook.
of white she is? What type of white she is? Or
I
where's
think
she from? What regional?
she orange Welsh. I think she's Welsh in English. I like redheads. And I married a redhead. So
But she's American, or is that where she came from? She's
no,
American.
she's from. She was well, technically she was born in Kuwait, but she's American.
Oh damn. Oh,
No,
military black.
Her dad worked over there for Ford or somebody when they were selling cars over there or something.
Oh,
But she's
Selling
great.
cars.
She's the no, he was corporate. She's the best person I could ever imagine to have married. She has raised two great kids for me, and she told me I can retire at 62 if I want.
That's
So
too old.
that's 11 years from now. Well, I want to work. I enjoy doing what I do, and she enjoys doing what she does. But she's like, if you want, you can retire at 62. I'm like, okay.
Why is she younger than you and she's gonna continue working or
No,
what's
she's
the...
gonna continue working because she likes what she does, but she's just she said it. I was like, okay,
She want that retirement money.
yeah, I don't. It's not even about that. I think we're okay.
oh no, you Puerto Rican, right? I think
Yeah,
I
I'm Puerto
remember.
Rican.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just you live right, you work right, you save right, and you can do certain things at certain times. So, but
You sound like a white guy talking about the Puerto Rican.
well, I grew up in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh,
Well, we had a little bit of. I remember, Gallo. I don't. We had a little situation where there was Puerto Ricans that couldn't explain to us what a Puerto Rican was because some believe that you can be two generations in Puerto Rico and still be Puerto Rican. I think that's how your family, right, Gallo? You got people that were Costa Rican or what were they?
No, 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 no. I have my family on both sides. My dad and my mom's side. My dad's side immigrated from France in the 1790s or early 1800s, and my mom's the same. But my mom's side is from Italy, or Italian, and my dad's side's French.
That's what I'm saying. So like, so you're,
how
and
you
this
Puerto
is you
Rican?
said 1800s.
Yeah, in the 1800s.
Well, then they assimilated to Puerto Rican culture because they're not Boricuas though. They're Puerto Ricans.
Well,
They're not.
Boricuas, in order to be Boricuas, you have to be Taino. But you know what? Well, I can't say I'm not going to sit out myself, and I'm not going to get. But one of my cousins was one of the most famous people in Puerto Rico and did a lot for Puerto Rico, and so my family's been there and done a lot. They have schools. They have run schools. They have schools named after them. They've been there for a while. So my name is pretty deep in Puerto Rico. It doesn't matter whether I was there, and when it was founded in 1498 or whether I was with Ponce de Leon in 1508 when he founded St. Augustine. I know the history. My family knows the history. I've been there. But I can't. I'm never going to deny my Puerto Ricanism, and I'm never going to allow people to minimize my Puerto Ricanism.
It's not minimizing.
Italian, right?
Better
You
off
like
going to
Italian and
Haiti.
something else. What were you, Gallo? The last, when they having that Puerto Rican conversation, you were like Italian and something else, and
I'm
French.
French. French. Yeah, my
He
dad's
just said it.
French.
He just said what he was, kid.
Yeah. And I've
Oh,
I've
my
Colonized.
bad.
I've I've got my whole I was fortunate enough that my cousin was a pretty well known person that the historian from the village that my family lived in near Toulouse contacted them, so I got to learn my whole French history, and actually got to go to a museum and see my great great grandmother on a big portrait that they created in Champagne, France,
Yeah, my,
from one
my
of
thing that I get confused is you didn't have any like Boricua people that were integrated within that
I
It's
don't
just when
know.
you're
I'm pretty.
like one
I think that
grandparent on one
I've never.
side. Like how the
Yeah,
fuck?
I think there is because I am not white. Like, not to say what white. I tan very well. I'm golden brown a little bit. So I think there has to be something.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Um,
I think everybody went quiet.
okay, so first, I kind of want to address some of the comments first. Um, this person commented and said that black culture in America is stolen from Africa, same like white culture in America is stolen from Europe. I don't agree with that because, and I'm more so talking about Southern Americans. There's been this thing like for a long time. Of course, obviously, Black Americans have culture. Obviously, white Americans do some things that majority of Black Americans don't do. But I'm speaking solely about Southern Americans, right? When it comes to culture in the South, I would say the South is a little different because when it comes to culture in the South, it's kind of like one big melting pot. It's kind of like assimilated a bit. There's a lot of stuff that Southern Black Americans do that we think are exclusive to just Southern Black Americans, but there are plenty of white people who do them. Like just all type of stuff like hot water cornbread, just all type of stuff, that Black Americans think that is exclusive. Well, we tend to think that it's exclusively ours, but there are white people who, do things like that. It's American culture. So I think that when you say white people have no culture, I actually don't think that that's true. I don't think that that's a true statement because their culture, they have a barbarian culture. Like that's just embedded in them. That's just the truth. I'm sorry. They just have that, caveman barbarian culture. But besides that, though, I feel like we got to be a bit more specific because white Americans have culture, white Europeans have culture. You know, like those cultures may be exclusive to whatever region they stay in, but and I do agree with the comment that says American culture is Black culture. That is true. But like I was saying, there is a lot of things that take place in America that are kind of like at this point, they've kind of just been assimilated into American culture.
All
Like
right. So
it's
what my thing is, since you point out some of the things that you believe to be white culture here in America.
Hot
here
dogs
in
and burgers on
America.
4th of July.
Well,
Here in America, I think that
That's
there are a
not
lot
white
of things
culture.
that here in America, I think that there are a lot of things that like white people
yeah, you could. People say
exclusively
a
do.
lot. People say
Or
everything.
they
What?
or like
Just tell me.
I think it's a lot that they do more like predominantly more than other people. I am put on blast a little bit, so I won't be able to directly specifically tell you every single thing that they do.
One
But
thing. I just need one
um
thing. Let's check it one thing at a time.
okay, let's see.
They bake pie baking. That's a culture
No,
for
because I
them.
don't feel like that's
Pie
I
I
got
baking?
think
one. I got one they do. I got one
Go
they do.
ahead. Go ahead, kid. Go ahead, kid.
Bonfire, parties, camping. One
but
of
That's
see
the
just
two.
that's
southern.
Ah,
That's just southern
but see
shit.
black people do that too. You know what I'm
No, no,
saying?
they do not. No, we do not do that
Yes,
in the South. No, we
yeah,
do
they
not.
do.
No,
Yes,
we
they
do
do,
What?
not.
especially in the
No, we do
South.
not.
probably not to
We
the
do not
extent
be
not to
camping.
the extent that they do it.
We don't do that, man. Come on, stop it. We don't
That
be
is not
outside
true.
camping.
What kind of black people are y'all
Where?
around?
Bro, we not outside camping, man. Now you
Oh,
finna get me
black people
annoyed.
don't camp?
Come on,
Is
man.
that what
You
you're
Stop
are
it.
saying?
not. You aren't. You
Bro,
maybe
Yeah, because
you
you
bro,
guys
we
scared of
not we
you
not
guys
outside
scared of
camping.
bugs and you guys scared of
maybe
animals.
you are not.
Nah,
Stop
Only,
black
making
people
only,
a
are not
only
scared of
time,
generalization. Black
only
animals.
people.
time, only time. Okay, we got that one camp for the like hunting, like fishing,
No,
like
no,
all
no.
that. But
This
they
is what
come
I'm
back home.
saying.
But they
What you're
bring
trying to
their ass
do
back
is
home.
what you're
They
trying to
bring
do
their ass
is
back home. They not
what
staying outside.
what
I'm
you're
telling you
trying to
that
do
now.
is you're trying to make black Americans a monolith. We're not a monolith. I'm not the
We
same
talking
as
about the
No,
you.
that don't
South.
do that.
I'm talking
Don't
about the
do that.
South.
But you are
This is the
though,
thing.
because
This is the
you're
thing. No,
saying you're
but
making a general
the
statement. You're saying that black people don't do that, but they do. I know
I
several black
said
people that go
Southern
camping.
blacks do not be camping outside. No, they do not. They a
That's
hunt.
not true.
They
You
go. They
cannot
a
say that.
hunt.
That's a
No, they
statement.
do.
That's a
They
general
don't.
statement
They
you're
don't.
making
Hey,
based
that's
off
a
of
That's a
your
subjective.
really. That's a
experience.
That's a
really a white
subjective
tee.
statement to
That's
say
a
that.
white Southern
That
American
is a
thing to go
general statement you're
outside
making off
to
of
go
your
to
bias
camping.
and your
No,
experience.
I'm
That is
not
not a
biased.
fact. That is not a
I'm not.
fact.
hold on. Let's
That's
get
not
things in
biased.
order. Tyshawn, where your people from? What states? Or where you were raised in?
My people, I was born in Gary, Indiana. Before Gary, Indiana, though,
The niggas in
my
Midwest.
my
Yeah.
grandparents,
So he.
grandparents. My grandparents are from Mississippi. They're from Biloxi, Mississippi. My family originated in Mississippi. I didn't get a chance to finish my sentence before Shadi wanted to cut me off to, like try to, I guess, push whatever narrative it is that he's trying to push. But all I'm saying is he's making a generalization of
And I've
all
been in
Southern
Biloxi,
Black people.
Mississippi, by the way. It's a
You
beautiful city. I've
said
been
you
out
said
there,
Southern.
and
Okay,
I've
that don't
been
really
out
have
there
nothing
a
to do with what
lot.
I'm saying. What I'm
I've been
saying
there.
is
I've
you
been there
said
a
that all
lot.
Southern Black people. You said Southern Black people don't go fishing. I said that
Major
is not true.
I never
You said
said
they don't
that.
go
That's not
camping.
what I said. That's
You
not what
said
I said. I
camping. You
said
said
they be
camping.
fishing, they do they
You
hunting, they
said
do they
camping. I just
listen,
corrected
listen,
myself.
listen. They do they fishing, they do they hunting, they do that, but they bring their ass back home. They not sleeping the night. They not spending
But
2 or
that's
3
not
days, 4
true.
or
That's
5
not
days
true, is what I'm
outside.
telling you.
They not doing that
Maybe
shit.
who
They not
you
doing that.
know, that may be true
But
for who you
Southern
know in the
whites, that's
circles
their
you run
thing.
in.
That's their thing. Staying like a trailer park. That's a white Southern culture thing, like a big trailer park. That's
I know plenty
Southern
of
whites.
Mexican people that
Blacks
stay
don't
in
do that shit.
trailers. I know plenty of Black people that stay in trailers.
I ain't say stay in trailer. Stay in a trailer park with RVs and
I know
shit.
plenty of Mexican people that stay in trailer parks.
We're not
If you go
talking about Mexico. I see what this guy. I
almost
see what this
every
guy
single
on, man.
trailer park home complex inside of Atlanta, Georgia is filled with Mexicans. I guarantee you. So
You
I'm
in
confused where we
Atlanta,
getting at.
Georgia? That's a
You
city. We talking about
bro, what
when we
I'm
talking
saying
about
to you
trailer.
is you keep making
You
general statements.
bro, you feel like
That's
you
what I'm
don't know nothing.
saying.
You just say two incorrect things. You say Atlanta. That's in the city. That's in the city. Usually trailers and trailer park be in the country, my guy. You got to go in the
Dude,
country to see what's really going on. If you haven't
dude,
been in the
I'm just
country
using
to see but
I'm just
Atlanta
using
is a
Atlanta as a
city.
Blake. Bro,
Atlanta is a
I just
city.
use bruh, can you like, bro?
Yeah, just
I'm
Sunny,
just using
Sunny, just stop
Atlanta
for
as
one
an
second, Sunny.
umbrella term. What I'm saying though is you keep making general statements. You keep making a general statement and trying to push it as a fact. It's not a
That
fact.
is a fact.
No, but
It's a
that's not.
fact to
Hold on,
you
hold on.
because it's based off
Bro,
of
No,
your
just
hold on,
experience and
because
your
just
hold on. Give
because
me a
standards.
you're
second.
yelling,
Give me a second.
Sunny,
Give me a second.
Sunny, you're yelling, bro.
Yeah, but
just
the thing is, hold on. The thing is, he's not. He's making a general statement of a
right.
culture when he's saying what. But that's how you do it. What's the other way? If you're talking about white people's culture here in America, you kind of have to
Yes.
generalize it to talk about them. Like,
Right,
But
What I'm
what
right.
I'm
But
saying,
saying
but
though
bro.
here's
is,
That's what
but
I'm
what
here's the
I'm
saying.
saying
You
is
problem.
the
keep arguing
statement
like
that he made. He said that white people's culture is to go camping. I said, well, that is not true because there are several Black people in the South who go camping. And he said they
that's
don't
not
do that. That's
true.
not true.
no,
Black
but
people don't do
That's
hold
that.
on,
not
hold
I
on,
said,
true.
hold
how
on.
can you say, can you let me finish? Like, damn. I said, that's not true because people in the South go camping. You said Black people don't do that. They go home. I said you cannot make a general statement like that because just because you don't do that and the people in your circles and the people around you and your bias and your experience don't do
Yo,
that,
Sonny,
you can't
let
make a
niggas
general
finish,
Hey,
statement for all
bro.
hey,
Black
Lopez,
Yeah,
Southern.
I got an
that's
example where
yeah.
black people camping
Damn.
is. Hey,
Oh
Lopez, this
my
is how
God, this
black people
nigga
camping.
talk
Nah,
too
Sonny, Sonny,
much.
I ain't
Our
Like
gonna
this
camping
lie.
nigga
is this
talk
our
No,
camping.
way
no,
too
Hold
no,
on,
no,
this
much.
no,
our
no, no, no,
camping.
no,
Hold on,
no,
this
no,
our
no, no,
camping.
no.
Our camping is
This
ran
nigga
out of
talk way
cabin.
too
Yeah, nah,
much.
we
Like
let you run.
We
We
ran
let
out of
we letting
cabin.
you run with too much, bro. You just
We
strong and
ran
loud,
like
loud
what
and
we do
wrong,
is
bro.
we rent out a cabin and we go hunt and go back inside the cabin. We do not stay outside. And
maybe your people
we
don't.
consider
Maybe
that
your
Stop
folks
saying
don't
we.
though.
we
Stop
consider
saying
that
we,
camp
bro.
we consider that camping. But
Bro,
staying outside in
it's
the
hard to have
woods,
a
that's not our
conversation
thing.
with
It's
people.
not our
It's
All
thing.
right,
hard to have
hold
a
We
on,
debate with
ain't
hold
people
on,
like
like
hold on.
you.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Tyshawn, have you ever went camping?
I have.
All right. Do you know how do you what do you do when you go to a camping ground? What kind of
Hold on,
land do you find?
wait.
Why
I'm
does that
confused.
matter?
I'm
No,
confused.
it
Are
does
you trying
matter.
to
It
like
does matter. I'm asking him if he's
but
ever
I'm
gone camping.
But if he
but this is
said
what I'm
yes,
saying. This is what I'm
What are
no,
some?
no, no. This is what I'm saying.
Hold on,
This is
Molly. Just because people say yes all the time, I've had people call themselves millionaire here and they bullshit. I'm just asking questions. What are some of the rules that it takes to set up a camping site?
what
Stay
I'm
away from public
confused as to like I don't
Exactly. You never
understand.
went camping. You
No,
never
that's
went
no. I've
camping.
been. No,
No,
I've been
ask
camping
me. What
several
are the rules to
times.
going
But see,
camping?
what's bothering me? This is what's bothering me. This is what y'all like to do on this TikTok live thing. This is what's bothering me, right? I am clearly being very articulate. I'm explaining myself very, very well. What you just tried to do was you just tried to catch me in a gotcha, because he couldn't prove me wrong with
It
his
wouldn't be a gotcha
the
if you
dude
know
above me. He couldn't prove
if
me
you
wrong. So
there's
what you
certain
tried
things
to
that
do
you have
was
no,
you
there's
tried to
certain
back
things.
me in the corner. You tried to back me in the
I'm
corner and
not
say,
backing
"Oh,
you in a corner. You just
but you
said
kind of did though, because
you could have
you
said
tried to
no.
kind
You
of
could
like
have
gotcha
said
me as if I was
no,
lying,
no.
but
You could have said I don't know about no fucking camping because I believe that,
what am I
but you don't
saying
know
that
about it
for? If that's not a
because
fact,
you
what am I
don't know
saying that for? I
about
don't have to prove. I don't have
so
to
what
prove
did
my knowledge to
so
you.
what are So, no, you. That's the thing. All right, whatever, man. You made it a gotcha moment. I
I'm
didn't.
Puerto Rican. I can
Yeah,
tell
that's
you
just
what you
weird.
need to
No,
do.
what I'm saying is I'm not understanding why you're
Exactly. Like
asking
there's
me that.
certain
I
things
don't
that
Nah,
you.
yeah,
understand why you're
nah. The
asking me that.
purpose,
Like,
There
I
was a
guess
reason,
he's
why are you
trying to
asking me that?
say, if you don't know how to start a camp, then basically you can't say that that's a part of Black people's culture as well. That's what he's
Well,
trying
And
to
what I'm saying
insinuate
is,
by
No,
asking
that's
that.
and
not
what
what
I'm
I'm trying to
saying
do.
is,
That's
That's
not
what
what
you're
I'm
trying
trying
to
to
and what
do.
I'm
do.
saying
That's
is,
what you're trying to
and
do,
what I'm
bro.
saying is,
Stop.
like I just said to the guy above me, you cannot make a even if I did give a wrong response. Let's just say if I did not know how to set up a camping site, right? Black people are not a monolith. Just because I don't
That
mean it's
doesn't
there's other
matter
black people
Exactly.
that
about being.
do.
Hold on. That's
I
not. That
agree.
doesn't
I
matter.
agree,
That no.
Tyshawn.
Hold on.
So just
Hold
like the
on.
guy
Hold on.
above me just said, like
No,
the guy
no.
above
This
me
is the
just said
thing.
that
What you
all
did,
black people, just like the guy above me just said, all black people do not go camping, they go home. They don't
Bro,
camp, they
I
go home. I
never
said you
said
can't
that, bro.
make a
You
general
arguing like a
statement.
woman, bro.
yeah,
I never
yeah,
say
yo. That's
all,
not
my
what
guy.
happened.
Come on,
My
Bro,
stop
thing
you
doing
was
is,
that,
just
my
now
man.
thing is,
cutting me
hold
off
on,
in your
hold on.
Kid,
Wait, wait,
Hold
sentence.
on.
wait.
No, now I
But
gotta mute
Sonny,
people. Now I gotta mute people. Give me a second. The way it started was that we started talking about white American culture. King Sonny said, I have an example. And he started saying bonfires and he said camping. Then you turn around, Tyshawn, and said, oh, but that's not exclusively to white people because some black people do that. We can't do that.
he
Though
didn't
they're
say some pap. He didn't say some Black people. He said several Black people do that.
It's the
So if
same
you're talking
difference,
about,
bro.
so if
It's
you're talking about a
semantics.
majority,
you
if you,
see
but
this
if you're talking,
semantics is but
no,
the
I'm
thing
listening
is that
to,
what
I'm
are we
listening to.
known are black Americans known for camping here in the United States of
Hell
America?
no, he is not. But we
So
do
then
No,
what
go
the fuck
camping
is
no,
though.
going on right now?
no.
So what's going on right now?
exactly. They
However,
just want to argue about
Yo,
some
But
shit,
that's
Molly,
bro.
just
Like, come
but
Molly,
on,
that's
you
just
man.
no,
reason,
no.
bro.
ignorance.
At
Make it
this
to
That's
the
what I'm
point,
point.
we're
saying. That's
playing
ignorance.
semantics.
That's
We're
ignorance
playing
because
Listen,
y'all are
semantics.
saying y'all making general statements based off of bias and ignorance. You can't say,
But
oh,
that's
just because
culture.
black people aren't
Culture is
known for
gonna be
camping don't mean they don't do it. It's several black
Oh my
Americans that
god,
camp.
man.
All right,
Oh
let's
my
move on.
god,
Let's
man.
move on.
That's
Let's
not the
move on.
norm. Basic culture is not the norm. It's not the
Yeah, let's.
So
norm.
so
It's
To
not,
rap so
who
brother.
hold
though?
on.
To who
Hold on. So
though?
rap
No, Tyshawn, it's not,
hold
bro.
on. So rap is white American culture. Because there's
No, because
several
That's a
rap was
there's
good one.
created
hold
by
That's a
on,
black
good
hold
one.
on,
Americans.
hold
You're a
on.
good
No,
example, Lopez.
several white people
That's
do
not
it.
the same. That's a false
No,
equivalency. Rap was
No,
created
it's
by black
not. No,
Americans.
it's not.
That's a false
several white
equivalency. That's not the same
no,
thing.
several white people do it.
I think you niggas are slow, and I think y'all need to stop doing all this
No,
No,
nonsense.
you're
now
upset, brother. You're upset. He got you right there. Right
Yeah,
there, he got you.
that was a good one, Lopez. That was a good one. That was a checkmate.
That was
That
perfect.
was
yeah,
a
fuck
checkmate.
out of here. Fuck out of here. But what you got, son? What up? My bad, son of James. What's up?
What's good, Lopez, man? Yeah, this is a false statement. I mean, obviously, I mean, all people groups have culture. Um,
All right,
whether you,
let's point some of it out. What do you see? Like
um, whatever their cultural norms is. I mean, I just never came across no, ethnicity that didn't have any like cultural norms that are specific to them. You know what I mean?
so what culture do white people have in America?
Um, I mean, that's not my culture, so I really can't, dive
I mean,
into what it is that they do
Hispanics is
specifically.
not my culture, but I know a lot of practice. I know a lot of practices that they practice with their culture. So
Oh, I
but
mean,
that's the
I feel
thing.
you. I
Now
feel
now
you,
now
brother.
now not to use that buzzword, but Hispanics is not a monolith though.
Yeah, it's not, brother.
okay, whatever you want to call it. What do you
so,
want to call it?
They're like
Mexicans,
multiple
we
nationalities,
different. Puerto
ethnicities, bro.
Ricans, the
Puerto
Dominicans,
Ricans,
Can I,
just like how white people are
Cubans, we're
different,
different.
right?
can I
Hispanic
No,
people
answer
are
the white
different.
culture
White people are
thing?
different too. So what are you saying?
All right,
Can
so
I?
hold on. Let me get back to the prompt, gang.
Like, come on
So
now.
to answer your question, Lopez, I'm not really too sharp on their specific things. I mean, I know they do go camping. I know that. I know they do the bonfire shit. I mean, I know that.
Those are
There's a
just
few things that I do
illegal.
know that they do that we typically don't do, and if we do it, it's only like like a handful. Like that dude you drop, he's like an anomaly.
I didn't
Um,
drop him. I didn't drop. He dropped on his
Oh,
own. I
okay.
didn't drop him.
Well, I'm just saying, like just because some black people go camping doesn't mean it's like our cultural thing. I don't even know why he was pushing back against that. But yeah, man. To be honest, just because I don't really know specifically what they got going on, I know they got something going on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a people group and have
That's
nothing
what I
going
want
on.
to. No, my thing is,
Listen, first of all, I think you guys don't understand that white American culture is mixed with several different ethnicities and countries. You have Irish American, Italian American,
I
Southern,
Right,
know that.
right.
Look,
But
Appalachian,
so
that's
not,
not.
Midwest.
but Gallo, that's
And
what I understand that. I understand that, and I'm not. Look, so for instance, your people descend from, you said, French and what was it, Italian?
Yeah, Italian.
But you guys assimilated to Puerto Rican culture,
Yeah,
right?
my
All
culture
right.
is Puerto Rican culture.
Your Puerto Rican culture. All right. So that's the thing. Here in the United States, there's amalgamation of different whites that become ethnically white here in the United States. What culture did they create? That's my thing. Like,
Facts.
Well,
what did
hold
they
on, but
create?
they brought their own culture from their own country. So you
That
have the
no,
Italian.
no, but
You
the
have
Oh
hold on a second.
no,
Hold on a
no,
second.
no.
Hold
no,
on. Let me
no,
finish. Let me
no,
finish. Before
Daddy.
you say no.
Irish people are not doing Italian shit over here in this
Yeah.
country. So
You
like,
know,
what's
so they're
up?
not
Yeah,
eating
that's true.
Italian
That's true.
foods, and they're not
That's
doing
true.
going to Italian restaurants, and
I mean,
they're
everybody
not
does though,
watching
no?
Everybody
I
does
mean,
that.
movies.
that's different. That's
That's
Everybody.
culture,
That's
gang.
not white American culture
Yes, it
though. We're
is. It's white
talking
American
specifically
culture.
about white
Okay,
no,
American
we're
culture.
not talking about
so The
We're not
appreciation.
talk.
Godfather.
Hold on, hold on, hold
So
on.
The
Appreciating. You
Wait,
could
Godfather.
can I
appreciate.
add?
Look, King. Hold on. King Sonny was just talking about that he had a choice over Indian food and Dominican food. Appreciating culture is different from assimilating to culture, I guess.
Exactly.
Right, but the white people, white Americans come from different countries, and
So do black. Okay.
they keep their own cultures. Black Americans don't. You're not
Okay,
doing.
Gallo.
If
Wait,
you're
can I
from
say something?
Nigeria,
Hold on.
are you? If your family's
Hold
from
on.
Nigeria, are you doing
Wait. Can I say
Nigerian
something?
stuff?
Wait,
No.
I have something to say to that. I have something to say to that. Hold on. I am a Caribbean American, right? So that means that my family, just like how it is with Italy, Irish, all everyone who migrated, other white ethnic groups outside of America who migrated here, brought a piece of their culture to America. We're not talking about what people abbreviated, right? Because I'm Jamaican, right? Everyone likes Jamaican food, oxtail, whatever the case, right? That's something
Everybody
that we
likes
brought.
oxtail.
Hold on, that just hear me out, bro. Like, come on, bro. Basically, what I'm trying to say is everyone takes pieces of their culture and mixes it with American culture. We're not saying that, oh, Italians do this and Irishes do that. We're talking about outside of what they're bringing from their
Yo, hold
country.
on.
Hold on, outside of what they're bringing from their country to assimilate with American culture, what is white American culture that's established now in this country? We're not talking about
Oh,
things
Molly, you
outside of
said
that.
something interesting. No, you said something interesting though. You said it gets mixed with American culture. What culture is that?
Okay, so
American.
I have
And
to
I could tell
say
you, I
something.
could
I've
tell
been
you.
The
so
American
Hold
quiet this
on,
culture is
he
the
entire
asked
time.
me a
mixture of all
question.
those
Can y'all just
people.
chill?
Tell him as a Jamaican, bro.
Yeah, like he just asked me a question. Hold on, you said what culture is that?
Yeah. So when it comes to mixing with American culture, what
Yes,
is that culture that you're speaking
and that culture, what American culture is the mixture of other cultures combining to create what American
Exactly.
culture is.
Correct.
That's
So can I please? I've been so quiet this whole time because I have to get off the
of?
phone.
Go ahead, Birdie.
Okay,
Go ahead, Birdie.
so I heard it very clearly with the FIFA World Cup. I've been listening to all the lives and stuff, and someone described it perfectly. They were asked, and it was somebody from another country was asked, please describe, and it was American culture as a whole. Please explain American as a whole. And they said this: American is all cultures brought together as a whole that has made America what it is today. So every culture that has come over from however long ago has made what America what it is today. Every culture, every background, every color, every creed, every walk of life, and every nook and every cranny has made it what it is today. We together collectively, through every fucking hardship we go through, no matter what it is, every language, every barrier, everything has made it what it is today. And we collectively destroy it no matter the cost. And we know
Ooh, I
it.
don't know about
And
that. I
what
don't know
what we
about that
do,
part.
we never collectively sit down other than trying to figure it out together. We either talk about it or we argue about it. And I would love to be able to continue to work through everything and figure to fight it out together and work on it.
and
Because
Birdie.
my
Okay.
culture My culture did some of it. I have no idea. Some of it, I have some idea.
What do you mean that you? So what you mean that some of it you have no idea?
Some of it, I know that my mother's grandfather, my great grandfather, didn't come over till 1900 and didn't come a U.S. citizen until June 27th, 1900.
Exactly. So all the stuff you're saying about mixed cultures, bringing
Hold
it
on,
up
please.
and all of
I
that,
did
where were y'all
not
in the
interrupt
1800s?
very
It was only
much, and
3
I did
people in the
not talk, and I was
1800s.
very polite. My other one did not come over till 1870 or 1890. And
Exactly. Look how late that is.
he was from deep Chihuahua, Mexico, and he was from the pure Picha tribe. And I'm just now learning about where he came from. So those two cultures, one from the UK and one from deep Mexico.
Hold on, UK. You
Oh my
sure?
God. Look at the year that you're saying that they came. So how
Yeah,
did they
that's
help
Ellis
contribute to the
Island.
American culture if they came in 1890 and 1900s?
No,
Come on,
that
man.
doesn't. Wait, hold on. That doesn't denounce the fact that they can't contribute to
Does
culture.
because you
No,
wasn't
no,
here
wait,
in the
hold on.
1776. You wasn't here
But
in the
look, but
1700s.
remember
You
at
wasn't
that
here in the
time.
early 1800s. You just got here. So
Let's
stop
not
it.
get ahead of ourselves, bro. Remember at that time, it was the industrial era. That was at the time where they just allowed immigrants
And none of
to eat.
those people that she naming was here.
Hold on, brother. Just hold on. Remember, at that time, immigrants were just became legal to even be able to live in America. So you have to understand that as at that aspect as well.
That's
Bro.
not true.
And
So that means
okay. So hold on. So wait.
So
So
what
when
you just said,
were
they had to wait
immigrants?
to be
So
allowed.
hold on.
Listen to what you
She
just
said
said. They had to
18
wait
she
to
said
be allowed,
she
right?
said late
Which means
Hold
you
on, one at
didn't
a time.
build
One
it.
at a
You
time.
didn't help
Oh my
contribute to no
God.
culture. You
Bro,
just got here.
you cutting
What
her
point
off
don't y'all
and
understand? Y'all just got here.
Bro, you're cutting her off. You don't even understand the grand scale. She just said herself she don't even know majority of she just said herself she don't know when it comes to her culture some
Well,
of
she's
her
just
culture
learning of
herself.
it. She's learning
So
some of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So how can you insert
So first of
yourself
all,
into
stop.
American
So don't
culture
you're
when you
jump.
just
Hold
learning
on,
about it or
bro.
just got
Shut
here?
the fuck up. You're jumping down her throat and you don't even hear what she's saying, bro. Like, gang, like what are we talking about? And then King Sonny, you said that's not true. So enlighten me. When did
Oh no, you
Americans
enlighten me.
hold on.
You backing her up, right? So
I'm not even worried about
So you
you.
enlighten me. Go ahead and enlighten
I'm
me
not
of
worried
what
about
she
you.
was saying. Help
I'm
me
not
out.
worried
Help me
about
out
you.
of what she was
Just
saying.
shush.
Explain,
You're
please.
angry, bro. Yo, King Sonny.
No, explain. Just
Enlighten
explain.
me. Hold on, shut up. Enlighten me, King Sonny.
Nigga, you
When
shut up.
did
Fuck you talking about, nigga?
Yeah, you mad. Yo, King Sonny,
Yeah, someone
when did Americans allow immigrants to come to America?
doesn't matter. You
They
wasn't
had
here.
waves. They had waves. They had different
Hold on.
waves.
King Sonny, I asked you a question.
They had different waves. The biggest one is Ellis Island, but it was one before that.
What?
The biggest one was
The
Ellis Island,
biggest.
one of the biggest ones, but it was a one before Ellis Island.
I
I forgot the
asked
name
you
of that one.
when did they start allowing immigrants into the country? I don't care about no
European?
Ellis Island, none of that shit, nigga. What's wrong with y'all niggas?
What you mean? But that's
What's wrong
part of
with you?
the
They've been
migration.
allowing
She just
immigrants into
said
the
she
country.
just
They've
Yeah,
stopped
said
they
letting
been.
immigrants in at 1806. Now
Yes.
what? Now what? They stopped that. They
Okay.
stopped that at 1806. Now what? What you got to say about that?
Okay. Nigga, she just said 1800s. The late 1800s is when her people came here.
So how did they
Yeah,
contribute to
she's
the
in Ellis
American
Island.
culture? Shut up. You sound stupid.
How do
No,
you
bro,
contribute?
you
You
sound
just saying
stupid, bro.
anything. How do you know that she didn't contribute to the American culture? You don't know what her
She
family
just
was
got here
doing
in
for this
1890.
country.
That's how, you idiot.
What the fuck?
Bro, but that's
Do you not? Hold on,
still
hold
a
on.
long time though, bro.
Exactly. You
Are
sound
you
dumb.
stupid or something?
You
That
Bro,
is
sound
I'm
not a
Black
dumb.
American
long.
too,
That is
bro.
not a long
You
I'm Black
time.
sound
American
dumb.
too, bro.
That is not a
I
long
wasn't
That's a
time.
here.
long.
Y'all wasn't here. So y'all
Oh
must be
my
tethered.
Yeah, that's not a
That's
long
like
time.
decades
Y'all
on
got to be
decades
tethered.
on decades
You
of
guys,
being
How
you
you
here,
guys
how
are
bro.
you build a
slow. You guys
country
are
Not
that
slow.
been
really.
here since
You
the
guys are talking
1600s
about a
and you
country.
just got
You
here in
guys,
the 1890s talking about you contribute to American culture? Shut the fuck up.
bro. What? So what's American culture to you? Wait, like what is American culture to you? And how can you?
That's
Hold
what
on.
we.
The real question is, how can you contribute to American culture? So do you have to? Is there a certain time period that you had to have been here for you to say, "Oh, I contributed because
Yes.
I
So
was
somebody
here.
who just
I
so
was here
somebody who
before the
just got here. So
1800s."
somebody who just got here in 2023, they did American culture. They helped build
Nigga,
American
they can
culture.
contribute to it, dumbass.
They can
What the
contribute
fuck?
to it how if you wasn't here in America.
My
Been here.
guy,
You
do you
sound
not
stupid. This is
understand that
tether.
the
I'm
whole
talking to a
basis
tether.
of this
All
country
right.
I'm
is
talking
the
to a
whole
tether. I
base?
Well,
already know
he's
it.
Jamaican,
Hold
so
on. The
Jamaican.
whole
Exactly.
basis of
He a
this
tether.
country,
Jamaican is a tether.
the whole basis of this country was surrounded by immigrants. The whole shit is built off of immigrants.
That's not true,
That's
though.
not
That's
true.
not
Oh
That's
my
not
true.
true.
God.
That's not
No,
true. It's
you
always
guys,
a tether trying to make
That's
everybody
not
an
me.
yeah,
immigrant.
and
Like,
No,
no, we not
there's always a
immigrants. I'm
fake,
sorry. We can't be
there's always
deported.
a
I'm
fake
sorry, brother.
FBA who swears that, oh, you're the
I'm
most
not
superior.
FBA. I
Because
told y'all
why?
that earlier. I'm not
So what
FBA. I
are
told you
you,
I'm an
bro?
Aboriginal
What
from
are
Georgia. I've
you?
been told y'all that. I'm not
What
an
are
FBK. I
you?
told you
What
that.
are you,
It's always
gang?
a
What
tether
are you?
thinking they know our history.
What is the history? Who's our history? America, who's our when you're talking
It
about
wasn't
American
built off of
history?
immigrants. I
look,
tell you
look,
that. It was built off
Solo,
of people
Solo.
that
Where?
was
Let me ask
already
What?
you.
here.
Hold on,
How you gonna
hold
tell
on. Give me a
me?
second. Hold on. Give me a second, Solo. Now I got a question for Molly. Molly, do you consider yourself an American?
Yes.
So
Ain't no
why
fucking
is that?
American.
Oh,
You a
hold on,
tether ass
Solo.
Jamaican. You a
Hold
Jamaican
on,
tether.
Like what?
Solo,
You sound
Solo.
mad
Relax.
ignorant and stupid. Shut the fuck
Hold
up
on,
with that
so,
ignorant bullshit.
hold on,
He
Solo.
could curse
There's a
and all that, and he can't get cut off, but I got cut
hold
off
on.
earlier.
Hey,
Yeah,
hold
cause
on. Is
you
that?
Y'all
sound like
niggas is
Give
Angry
me a
Bird.
weird.
second. Yeah, hold
You
on. Look, I'm
mad,
gonna
nigga.
mute people. I'm gonna mute people. Hold on.
Niggas is weird.
Hold on, Solo.
He
There's a
didn't say
reason I'm
question for
asking.
Solo. He
There.
said question
Nah,
for
you
Molly.
weird too. The host
Hold
weird
on.
too. Gonna
I
kick me
got.
off,
Hold
but you
on.
got
I'm not. I didn't kick you off. You had a restriction. I had to kick you off because of the
niggas
restriction
weird.
you got.
Bro, he's just
All
angry.
right,
Go smoke a
whatever. All
blunt,
right,
bro.
Molly.
Smoke a
Molly.
dick, man.
Now Molly got it. Now Molly had to be removed right now. It's because he got a restriction. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not getting it. Whatever. There's certain restrictions people get where the TikTok tells me you got to kick them off. That's how it works. I don't know if you know how that works. I was going to ask him why does he believe he's an American and he doesn't believe he's just a U.S. citizen living here in America? Because to my understanding, American is a bloodline. You can't just become an American. You can be a U.S. citizen, but you can't become an American.
Facts.
That's where I was trying to go with that line of questioning,
That's correct.
Solo.
That's
That's what,
correct. If
yeah,
if your
like
ancestry wasn't here during the formation of the United States, then you are just a United States citizen. I mean,
you're just
that's
part
just
of the
common sense, you
corporation.
know.
Yeah, you're
No,
just
that's a
part of the
fact.
corporation.
That's a
You're not
fact.
an American
Exactly. You're not.
by
You
blood.
didn't help build it. You didn't help culturalize. You didn't do anything. You're just here. Like what the fuck?
You got 10 minutes, Molly. White Life. You came back up. You wanted to add something. Like you got 10 minutes, Molly. I'll bring you back up.
Yeah, I was about to go in on that Jamaican tether, but you already summed it up. See, a lot of
I
these
want to know how do people that just got here in 1890 and the early 1900s help contribute to a country that been here since the 1600s?
Well, I'll tell you. So my father's great grandfather, who was here in 1890, who was from Mexico, deep Chihuahua, worked in a factory and helped build that factory. His family continued down that line and continued in that same factory. And I'm fourth generation from there. They continued, they worked, they lived in Compton and helped build houses in Compton and continued down that line. And they still live in Compton, all of them. And they continued to migrate on through there. The father or the great great grandfather who came from the UK, who became a US citizen, also worked up into Washington state. I don't know what the hell he did. I don't know his lineage through there, but he ended up in Washington state, I believe in Ambridge, not Ambridge, but somewhere in Washington state, migrating through to California. I am fourth generation through there. But you have to understand, as they go in through and migrate, they work, they settle, they build families.
You said that.
So
So
with
Birdie,
that
I just wanted
logic,
to make sure.
right? The slaves who built all these different things, did they not contribute? Because I hear that all the time. You guys
Yes,
didn't
they
build
did
nothing. You
contribute.
didn't do nothing. You didn't build nothing. You didn't contribute nothing. No, I hear that constantly from these tethers, white Americans. You didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing. How? Did you just explain the exact same thing my people did centuries before your people came?
I just
And
said
we don't get
yes.
contribute, and we don't get contributed for nothing
Yeah, to my
at all.
understanding,
Well, I'm
I
not
get a
other
little bit
people.
confused. Oh, hold on,
I'm
give me a second, because he's throwing around the word tether, and to my understanding, a tether is someone that claims to
Comes
be
to
something that
America.
they're not, but claims to be something they're not, right?
No. A tether is a person who comes to America and hates on the black Americans and down them and
that.
act like where they from is
Host,
way
can I be
better
heard?
and that they're better than us. That's what a
well,
I
tether
I'm
is. I
not
have
that
no
nah
problems
person.
with immigrants. I
So I
have no
want to let
problems
you
with
no.
know that
immigrants.
I am
I,
not that person. and I
Comes
never
with
said
No,
tethers.
we're
that.
not saying that that's what
So
you are. But give me a second, Birdie. Let me see what's up with Sentinel because he's been sitting there patiently. What's up, Sentinel? Sorry for having you wait. What's up,
All
man?
right, thank you. Let me put the whole concept of tethering, and meaning to tether to something, something that is already anchored. That's what the concept of tether comes from. Just like when you tether your cell phone to your computer or to your, and tether it and make it a hotspot. That's what it comes down to. It means to anchor to. I want to put it in perspective, this whole migration of Protestants, Europeans, and Anglo Saxons coming to the Americas when America, before there was any, what we could say, quote unquote, white people, were in the Western Hemisphere. Uh, we have to look at the historiography and the iconography of the Americas predating the renegades and the founding robbers that came here and commandeered the Western Hemisphere as a oyster for themselves. What whiteness is a social construct created for the benefit of white people, for the advancement of white people in economics, education, entertainment, politics, sex, war, religion, labor, and law. Within those major 9 areas, it has been codified within the structure of what people consider to be the America, which is a private corporation that operates for profit and have built 400 generations of wealth on the backs of people who they brought here as not indentured servants or contract workers, but brought here under the system of chattel slavery, meaning that the slave had no right more than a cow, a chicken, a horse, a donkey, or a mule. So we must understand and put this in perspective. What is classified as white culture is a pseudo culture that has benefited on pressing down on all races and all groups of people that are classified as non-white. White is the demarcation of privilege, unrestricted, in the society that we call the Americas. So what is the United States of America is not the America. Central America, South America is a enclave or a satellite nation of the United States of America, whose headquarters is in the District of Columbia, DC. Now, DC sits outside of the 50 states because District of Columbia is a multinational corporation that operates for profit. Until we understand that, nothing about race and the system of racism and white supremacy will people will ever be able to wrap their heads around. I land.
Only talking about American
Gotcha.
culture, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and during that,
So
and
hold on, Birdie.
American
Before you
culture.
continue, I got somebody. Give me a second, guys. I got someone else that's come up. Mark Allen. What's up, Mark Allen? I got a few questions before you proceed. Do you consider yourself ethnically white here in the United States, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So we were going over what is white ethnic culture here, like what white people have here as a culture in America. I don't see it unless you take things that were pulled from Europe, pulled from Black Americans, and pulled from Indigenous. So I'm just wondering, Mark, what you got on it? That is white American culture here.
We have trail mix.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Oh, all right, all right. Hold on, Sentinel. Hold on, Sentinel.
Okay.
It's
Let's
a
see.
good one.
That's
What's trail
trail
mix?
mix. Trail mix. That's they shit. That's putting
Yeah.
M&Ms and pretzels and
Oh, you talking about?
checks.
There we
Trail
go.
mix.
There we
No,
go.
and
There
look,
we go.
hold on, and it
There we
makes
go.
sense. Hold on, and it makes sense, because trail mix is used in camping and in like you
Oh man,
that's
I
some
got
of
a
the.
phone call. Damn it!
All
I
right,
gotta take
you
this
got
phone
it.
call, guys.
You
Hold
got it,
on.
Mark. You got it,
I'm
Mark. You
sorry.
got it. You see, your real heritage Americans, they be really talking about that shit, King. I ain't
Yeah.
even think of trail mix. I ain't even think of trail
I ain't
mix.
thinking about it too.
That's they
That's a
shit. That's
particular,
they
and I don't eat
shit.
this.
Trail the kids. Trail
That's
mix.
that. That's they shit.
That's definitely their culture.
That's they shit. Some trail mix. Make sure you brought some for the trail. All right. Damn, you see? That's what I'm saying. When I've had white Americans that are really, truly heritage white Americans, they say some shit that I don't like. One of them said pants that turn into shorts. That's some white American shit right there.
Nah, that's a fact. Yo, that just speaks to
That was a
that just
good
speaks
one.
to the point that they do have things they do. You know what I'm saying? They go hiking.
that
You know what
they
I'm saying? They
they
got their little
got
shit.
shorts in the wintertime with, like, you know what I mean, like,
Oh
you know how,
shit, yeah.
Do
definitely
that
With the
thing.
hoodie, with the hoodie on,
with the
with
hoodie
the
on. Like,
hoodie
I
on.
don't see nobody else
Yeah,
do that shit.
And may I
that's
add,
true.
they feed the bears when the sign clearly says "Do not feed the wild bears."
Yeah,
But
shit
then
like that.
claim,
That's one of
you
the
know,
things. Look,
yeah.
so I've had
Oh,
heritage
y'all
in
seen
there.
that bison
I
video?
I've
Y'all seen
seen.
that
Look,
That
bison?
hold
old
on.
man deserved it.
Hold on. So I've seen white Americans come up and be like, look, anytime that you see some shit here in the United States that you say to yourself, that's some white people shit. He said, that's our culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
don't go into
rescue
the cave.
animals for no
Go into the
reason at
goddamn
all.
cave
And look, and I'm
and
not gonna
say,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I believe like pranks is white American culture. Like for instance, when I moved to a more affluent area of Jersey City, that's the first time I actually lived around white people. I didn't know what type of white people they were. Before that, I knew some Polish, I knew some Italian, but when I went to this part of Jersey City, I met ethnically white people that I didn't know where their people come from, and they introduced me to dog shit inside of a brown bag and lighting it on fire and ringing people's doorbells doing it.
"That's some,
Like,
Yo, that's
that's
crazy. I'm right here in
white people
Elizabeth.
shit."
but
I
isn't
think
that
that's
white people shit?
Boyd's
Is that
But what
brother's
we must
shit.
nah,
understand is that also that
Part of
what we
Jersey
call
City, the
white
Heights.
people
Jersey
to
City
nah,
turning into
Europe,
no.
Tether City.
you know, most Europeans don't refer to themselves in general as white. They don't refer to themselves as white.
I know that. That's my thing. That's
Well,
why I
that's
try to tell
American. Have you
people
have you heard of the book?
that's an American thing. That's what I'm saying. I tell that to people all the time. Like, only here, like I've spoken to Italians. I lived in Italy for 3.5 years. I've spoken to Germans. I've spoken to Albanians. You can't call those people white. They're
They'll
gonna
just
tell
say,
you
"I'm
no.
German.
No,
I'm
they say I'm
Albanian."
German. I'm Albanian. I'm
They probably
Italian.
gonna say they American.
Yeah,
White
Nah,
no,
nah. I'm
is
talking about in
something.
Europe. I'm talking about in
No,
yeah,
Europe.
they
I'm
don't.
talking about
They
in
something.
Europe.
do not. They
Oh,
do
yeah,
not
no,
call
in
White
Europe
is
they're
themselves.
gonna tell
something
you what they
unique
is.
to
They're gonna
the
be like, I'm
America,
German,
to
I'm Sweden,
America.
I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah,
It's a
you
But
look.
they
can't.
It's a,
don't say
there's
You
no
can.
I'm
You know. You
hidden.
can walk.
white.
Look. In Milan. In Milan, you can walk into a lot of people that are quote unquote white, right? But those people are not white though, because they don't identify from race. They don't. They look at them. The Germans looking at the gypsy that over here in the United States can qualify as white, but over there they're like, yo, watch it. He might run your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, he might get in your. Like, they looking at each other. They know. Look, those Albanian dudes over there. They up to something funny. Watch it. They might try to. You know what I mean? Like, they
And
know.
When
that's
you
all I
go,
try to explain to these people. That's share the same skin color, that we
Yeah.
all
Look.
not the same. Like, why y'all think, oh man, like they
yeah,
think
when
it's
Yeah.
you
just
But look, we
go,
us.
got Mark.
Like they be
Hold
like,
on. We
yo,
got
it's
Mark.
only y'all going against
Solo.
Guys, give it a second. We
it's
got
only y'all
Mark. We
going
got
against
Mark back.
Africans.
We got Mark back. We
Solo.
got Mark back.
I just came back. I was listening to Solo. I disagree, Solo. We are all the same. We're all the same color. We are all the same color. That's what you don't realize. It's just that people look at us at different colors.
But Mark,
What
we
people
would. We
understand,
oh
we're all created by God. We are all created
Ain't
by
going
one
by race.
creator.
Mark, he ain't talking about race,
no, we're
Mark.
not.
We
We're not.
on
We're
Mark.
not.
Yeah, I don't.
Look. So look. What we were talking about, right? Because you were still on teacup. We were saying in Europe, for instance, I lived 3.5 years in Vicenza, Italy. When
Okay.
I would run into like, this is me coming going over there. I was in the military, but I went over there with a mindset of, the United States of America. I thought that there was just a bunch of white people in Europe, and no one that I ran into in Europe considered themselves white.
Correct.
They consider themselves either Italian, German, Austrian, Croatian, Slovenian. Like, they told you what they were. You couldn't call
Gotcha.
them white. So,
Yeah,
but
they
here in
identify with the nationality.
yeah, but over
Yes.
here in the United States, that's not the case. There's an amalgamation of different Europeans here that all they have is ethnically white after all. Like, that's it. Like, though they might have some German, some Irish, some Italian, they become ethnically white here.
and that
Unless,
is
and some people, I think some people live it different because my family is all. I still identify as Polish. Okay.
Oh, so that's different. So you still
See,
have
you
any,
know
like,
the difference.
he
You see,
does
you know
know
the
the
difference. He
difference.
came up and said I'm white, but most of my family's from Polish. So you're Polish
Yeah,
more than white, correct,
I
sir?
consider
yeah.
myself. I consider myself a Polak. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the
Oh,
what
so
is
there's
the okay now
difference.
this is
That's
good.
different.
Let me handle it. So you're telling me, okay, tell me what are the genetic markers based on mitochondrial DNA sequence 6 and 9 of the mitochondrial DNA sequence
Oh
that
no, you do
produces
Sentinel.
whiteness?
What we doing right now, Sentinel? Lord, no,
I'm
no.
qualified to do this, brother. I mean, because
I
we have to
got you.
extract
I
whiteness
got
out
you.
to see if cream is in the coffee, brother. We got to
But I don't. I'm
extrapolate
just
that.
saying.
Nah.
Hold on. My thing is, I don't want to. I don't want to put on the scuba gear and go too deep just yet. Let's
Okay,
keep.
okay,
Let's
okay. I'm gonna
let's
keep
keep
it
it a
on the
little.
surface
Let's keep
layer.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Let's
keep it
keep it
on
on
the
the
surface
Yeah,
surface.
layer.
like this dude, like that. This dude already. He
What
wants to start. He wants to start me out
what
on nitrox
no,
already. He's
basically
ready to start
what
me out on
whiteness
nitrox. Like, what's going on here?
so basically what
You almost
whiteness
made
has
Mark
come.
fucking Papa Adderall, man. Chill,
Hey
Sentinel.
brother,
Hold on.
and I'm a veteran too. I'm a 14-year Army veteran. Not until I got out of the continental US did I begin to understand that
To start
that
exactly.
so-called Indo-European
Or
Proto-Germanic people
Sentinel.
do
Before
not
you consider
identify.
Sentinel, where were you based? Anywhere overseas? Were you stationed anywhere overseas?
Yes, I was Germany, Guam. I went in
What?
the military during the
Where?
Vietnam War.
Germany, Hamburg. Was it Hamburg?
Hamburg,
Bamberg,
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Uh,
Okay, got it. Got it.
so based on that, and based on see, I didn't really begin to understand. And matter of fact, I'm 68 years old. You see, so I've been around for a while. Almost 7 decades. So I've seen and observed white people interacting with white people and non-white people. Now, I've come to understand that what is considered or classified as whiteness has nothing to do with one's genetic makeup, or it has to do with the social structure or the social definition of what whiteness is, which means unrestricted access to privilege in the Americas under the umbrella or the construct of whiteness. And that's the reason why when Europeans come to America, they immediately move within proximity of that demarcation of whiteness, even though there may be a Polak or Polish or from Lithuania or Scandinavia, or they may be Danish, Irish, Scottish, and etc. etc. But when they get to the Americas, whiteness or what Europeanism meant when the Protestants came over had a unique d- distinction in America because whiteness was legislated into existence in America, our land.
So I was gonna follow what you said. So my husband was also military, and when he wasn't stationed anywhere, but he went over to Bahrain, um, places like that. And you are correct.
You
When
said Bob where?
Bahrain,
You
um,
mean Bahrain?
but he Bahrain, whatever, Japan, Hong Kong,
Skip over
Singapore.
shit. They won't take you
Um,
to.
he went to a lot of different places, Ecuador, but you are correct. When you go to these places, they go by where they're from, exactly where they're from. They do not differentiate anything. When we went to Scotland, you were from Scotland, you were a Scot, you were Irish, you're from Ireland. My husband is Scottish, Irish, German. When you ask him where his family is from, those are the only three places. We made him do a DNA test and 23andMe, and those literally the only three things that came up. In his family is the third and fourth generation in, and he came from old Prussia, the old German area.
Empire. The old Prussia
Whoa,
Empire.
whoa,
All the
whoa! I
Prussia
hit a
Empire.
yellow flag on the play. I don't.
So, yeah.
You,
So,
you think one thing, Lopez? You said hold on about old Russia. What's Prussia? Is? That's over about
Prussia.
what at it?
Where
Prussia
where it
was
um,
was, where it was,
where it
not where it's
was,
at.
empire was,
not where it
but the
Yeah,
was.
where what?
empire.
Um,
I don't know. I just had
and
a yellow.
yeah, he likes to call himself pale blue because he's see through white. But something I learned on.
Birdie, can I ask you a question? Is he
Yes, go
glass
ahead.
of milk white? Is he glass of milk white?
Yes, he is.
Okay, no, I've never seen a person as pale as a glass of homogeneous milk. Now,
He's.
either you're telling the truth or you're being disingenuous. One
No,
or the other.
I can do a picture. He's white. He cannot tan. He
So
cannot.
wait,
All he
wait,
does is
Birdie,
freckles.
slow down. So
He's
what I
like
just said to you, did you listen to what I said? That I know you
you
believe
asked
that
if he
white
was
is a
see
so
through
no,
white.
white is no, there's no biological evidence for said whiteness.
White is a social construct.
It's a social contract, social
It's a construct
construct, and it is a made-up word, something that was brought over by the Europeans
to
because
give
to give to
white people
white
that believe they're
people
white a
because
benefit in the society that they control in what? Economics,
economic
education,
benefits.
entertainment, politics, sex, war, religion, labor, and law. And what you must understand in 2026, in order to survive this new wave of expedient waking up of those that have been pressed down upon, is that you have to distinguish if you're going to be a part of the part that has to be rectified when the pendulum swings the other way. The historical and historiography of what made America America is collapsing under its own weight. Why? Because injustice and incorrectness. And until that
Gotcha.
happens, this country is on its way to a new paradigm. We've crossed the Rubicon to where whiteness now, what is classified as whiteness, is under the microscope.
Good.
And as it should be. But look, my thing is when it comes to Polish, for instance, in the Americas, Polish became white, and Polish also became noir or noir, what it translates to black. For instance, after the Haitian Revolution, there were Polish soldiers there brought by the French, over 400, that they put down their arms and they decided to fight with the Haitians on the Haitian
That's
side, right?
right. Haitian
And
Revolution.
after the revolution, they became noir per their constitution to make it a fully black republic or noir republic. So that depending whether so like the Polish historically never came over here to oppress anyone here in the United States or in the Americas. Like there was no
Correct.
Polish there was no Polish colonies or anything. So like that's why I don't understand it when certain people like you just become white here, but or do they actually know what white means here in the United States?
The top tier do. The top tier do. Now the bet you by golly wow white folks and the lower tier, what the and Nancy Eisenberg wrote in her book "Poor White Trash." Now those hunkies, because she used the term hunky, quote unquote white, poor white trash, is that those are the ones that were brought in and assimilated and pushed up the ladder of social structural white racism, white supremacy, in order to be a buffer between those that were freely slaves after the Emancipation Proclamation 1863 and during 1886 when the state and federal government began to enforce those things that were decreed in the emancipation of slaves who had been enslaved for 400 years. So during that process, those people that claimed that they were indentured servants who called themselves Irish, those were the ones that were moved up the echelons of the hierarchy to be a buffer between the working class and those newly free slaves who were emancipated by Lincoln, who also didn't give a damn about the slave. He was trying to maintain continuity between the Union and dismantle the Confederacy. That's the reason why they end up reconstituting and paying reparations to the slave holder, not the slave, but the slave holders, and reconstituted the South as a token of peace in order that it maintains the continuity of the Union. Most people just don't have enough time for history. I'm 2 times retired. I'm not flexing. I'm just
No,
saying.
you good. You good.
You
When
good. You good.
when it needs to come up,
I'm
you
just
bring
saying,
it
bro.
up.
I'm just trying to bring it to the forefront because I am a white supremacologist. My job and my
You study white
desire.
supremacy.
I study white supremacy, and
Well, you
also I
got to
study
study it though.
those.
You
I
Yeah.
got to
study
study
those
it
that
though.
move in
I have to.
proximity to whiteness for favor, for the bag, for the whatever the young people call it today. So until then, until we pull the wool off, what
What they doing
racism,
right
white
now?
supremacy
Nah, I got it.
is.
Instead, no, yo, but you know what's crazy?
White
If you look,
supremacy is a
if
myth.
no, but all right, but hold on.
Well, why don't white
Look,
people
It's an
classify themselves as
ideology.
white
It's
if
just an
it's a myth?
it's an
ideology. Not.
ideology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an
It's an
ideology. It's what we saying.
ideology. Why does it have power?
No, I never said white power didn't exist. White power, that's a
No,
real
no.
thing.
I'm
But white
saying
supremacy,
I'm
that's in
not.
the
See, my
myth,
thing
bro.
is this: I give see the again the bet you by Gotti Wild renegade.
so-called white person that walks on the street. And I always say so-called because white people or people that classify themselves white cannot prove to me biologically or even genetically or ethnically that they're white. I'm telling you, white is a placeholder. That's the reason why people in Europe rarely refer to themselves as white. This is an invention
Well, that
of
was
those
created
in
here.
the Americas.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
see, so that invention of whiteness was codified and legalized within the highest
But
government offices of the land, and we must
but
understand
but
that.
look, if you look at if
Centennial,
you look, go ahead, Mark, go ahead.
Centennial. Did you say that you traveled a lot? Were you in the service?
Yes, I was,
Okay, see,
and that's where
people.
I experienced most of my racism from white
Well,
folks,
no,
white
that's why I was going to ask you.
colonels, captains, and sergeants.
That's why I was going to ask you because people that I'm very well traveled too. I was a professional golfer and I got to travel all around the world. Okay, and I got to experience. I was very lucky and very fortunate and got to experience many, many, many different things. And you understand a lot of these things, Sentinel, because you got to travel and you got to see them. Okay, a lot of people don't understand because they've never really seen it and never really experienced it. You know, you really have to go and travel to these places and talk to these people around the world to understand. And that's where I think me and you were blessed. And a lot of these people, like, especially in the United States, most people in the United States, they never leave the United States. And especially people that don't have money never leave the United States
Yeah,
unless they're
well,
in the
That's not really
service.
true.
Unless they're in the
hold on,
Yeah,
no,
service.
I don't
that
plan
no,
on
no.
going
That's not
anywhere.
true.
I don't plan on
Hold
visiting
on.
And then we don't
anywhere.
have
I like it right here.
No,
I don't want to see the
no.
rest
What
of
I'm
the
saying,
world.
what I understand what Mark is saying. They don't. They look. There is a broad in the like. You get a better panoramic view of the world once you leave the United
Yes.
States.
Yes.
And there's a.
I
That's what
get
I'm
it. I
saying.
get it.
There's a
The
lot of
internet
culture.
exists. You could
Yeah,
you could
but
look
the
up these
internet,
places on YouTube.
nah,
You could look up
it's
these
not.
people. You
It's not
It's
the
talk
not
to
the
some
same.
of these
same.
It's
people
not
live.
the
The
I
reason
got
it's
You
same.
got to
not the
chats
talk to
same
the
talking to
because
common
you're
people. I
not
don't
people.
even
interacting
live
with the
here to
people.
figure
You're
out
not
that
interacting with
people is
those people.
shitting in
That's why.
Yeah, you got
Nigeria
to
in the
you got
streets
to
and shit.
interact.
Like
You got to interact with the common people. That's like that. What you know, like
Yeah, it's not the same. Soul.
yeah.
I'm sorry, yo.
But
Just
there's
like
not
you
a
get.
lot of people that actually leave their own state, let alone their own city. So that also
Yeah,
doesn't help.
exactly. We were talking about too. People don't even leave 100 miles where they're born. A lot of times, people are stuck. You know, and like I said, when I talked to a lot of these panels before, and I traveled to the South, especially in the early 1990s, and I saw how vile, and how disgusting some of these places were in the South. Okay, and it was really in the South, and the places in the South, I promise you, were not like this in the North. Okay. And I understand why some of the people in the South have the heart that they have and have the hate that they have in their heart.
Where in the South
Okay.
you was at? Can you name the state or
Oh
He
man,
went
city?
I
to.
was
He was. If he
all
was went to
I'm gonna tell you.
Augusta, he was in Augusta, Georgia, right?
Oh,
Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, New Orleans. I mean, everywhere. I mean, except for except for
so
New Orleans. New Orleans was a
yeah,
special place for me.
Oh,
I've been
I
to
like
say
New
New
Orleans
Orleans.
because New Orleans was
I got a
different.
question. I got a question for Mark though on that because like you, though you know that you're, because that's another thing too. Um, historically, Polish people were treated
Augusta not
different.
bad either. Hold on, you said
Different.
Augusta.
No,
Augusta's
well,
not.
no, I just say Augusta because I know they have that big golfing
The
area.
Masters is there. The
Yeah, the
Masters is
Yeah,
Masters.
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I would go
So
there and I would go there and be with the caddies. I did a lot of caddy stuff there.
got you. So my thing is the reason I ask is because you said that there was like a disgusting and vile. Who did you see that from? From people that were ethnically white here in the United States, or?
Oh, 100%. I had to correct people. I mean, I almost got in a bit. I mean, I can't tell you the confrontations I got in. By the way, they talked to some of these people, okay, and I was in shock. It was like living in
But
1880.
it's because that wasn't a norm in your household, right? So
No, that's
you
not the norm in the North. No, it's not the North. That's what people don't understand. The difference between the North and the South is places in the South were the
We're in the
most.
north. I think you're not being specific. Like, okay, if you're talking
I
about the
mean, I'm from
city of the north,
Pennsylvania. All up in the Northeast. I can promise you, like what I experienced in the Northeast, and I was all over the Northeast. It was nothing like the South. I promise
How
you.
many people
yeah, yeah, yeah,
remember the
yeah,
movie
yeah, yeah. I
Birth of
understand.
a
Yeah.
Nation? How many people
That's a
remember
fact.
actually seeing the movie Birth of a Nation?
we couldn't hear you setting on at the beginning. What you said? We couldn't hear you. I think you
On
might be
this
covering
panel
your
right
mic. Sentinel, you're
I said,
covering your mic. All right.
how many people on this panel right now has seen the movie Birth of a Nation?
I've
I
seen it.
it's been a while, but I have.
Oh, okay.
I
Now,
have
Birth
it.
of a Nation, that movie, when it was actually um, uh, played or when it was shown in cinematography, that movie in 19, I believe it is, let me see, it was in 1869, I believe. That movie right there, those Confederacies, these Dixiecrats and Confederate sons and daughters of the Confederacy, they came out of the South and fanned out all throughout all 50 states in the Union. Now, the states that we're talking about as it relates to South Carolina, Georgia, matter of fact, I was stationed there. Fort Gordon, Georgia, Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, those are the most,
I
South
was
Carolina
I was stationed in Fort Gordon too. It's no longer
and
Fort
Fort
Gordon.
Jackson.
It's no longer
Yeah.
Fort Gordon. It's Fort Eisenhower. So just so you know.
Okay, now, yeah, Fort Eisenhower, because General Eisenhower's active duty military, they have just changed it when I was sent to Guam. So I was actually at that base. I actually processed in at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. You
Me
see,
too.
now my people fled the South. My mother's people from Mississippi, they literally fled the South because of white terrorism in suitcases. My grandmother and my grandfather and my uncles, my mothers and sisters, brothers, which she had 20 of them. My grandfather had 20 children. You understand me? 20. They left Mississippi on trains and box carts out of Mississippi because Mississippi was like a person would say a WAR zone at that time. My father's people from Mobile, Alabama. My father retired as a command sergeant major. He fought in the Korean War. Now, when I was in the military, and if anybody knows, most of what I saw front up, direct on with racism and white supremacy, even though we all had on green uniforms, was in the military. That was my first training ground or my first focus.
And what state did you come from at that time though?
I was Texas. I was born in Texas.
Got it.
Yeah, actually right outside of Fort Bliss. My father was stationed at Fort Bliss.
Got it.
But I was born in the late 50s. So the late 50s and 60s on up, these are two different planets. These are different worlds. You can't compare what was going on then to now, albeit we're back on that apex. With the apex is moving back to where now, I hate to say this,
I see they trying, but I don't think it's gonna be the same.
Well, we'll
trying.
see. Well, I'm not going to say it's going to be the same because nothing about history in the times of history has ever been the same. What I'm saying is this: these generations coming up, I'm telling you, you better be prepared. You got to be prepared because I've lived my time. I've shared my information. I've passed this on to my kids and my grandkids. It is their duty.
But that's funny. But that's funny, Sentinel. But didn't you get told the same? Didn't you hear the same thing coming out of your parents' mouth when they talked about the generations that you were living in? Like that, isn't this always been a thing where it's like the next generation?
Because
they would change around the 70s, 80s.
Yes,
yeah,
they would always preempt it.
But the ones, hold on. But the times of the '90s was different from the '80s and the different from the '70s.
Yes, that's
so
definitely.
At one point they were like, oh look, you're watching television that's gonna rot your brain, and now everybody's walking around with a screen in their hand in their pocket. You know what I mean? It's always been a thing.
We went out and explored. We went out and especially when I was in Texas and places like that, we went hunting and things like that. You know, that's what I grew up with. I didn't even experience this kick a ball down the street and kick the can. I didn't none of that type of stuff, a stick ball, until I got to the States. I mean, not to the States, but came to the Midwest and the West. That was not nothing in the South. What I was told in the South is to, one, don't look white men directly in the eyes. Don't sass white women. Don't make snide remarks, or so forth and so on. And I didn't learn until I got older, a teenager, that by the time the Emmett Till thing went down, they were teaching us about Emmett Till. Then I understood those things were told to me to save my life if I'm behind
enemy lines, so to speak.
Where did you grow up, Sentinel, again?
I grew up mainly in the South. I was born in Texas, right outside of Fort Bliss, Texas. But
Okay, but where did
my
you grow up?
mother's mainly grew up Texas, in California.
California. Okay. Did you like California?
I don't like the white people in California, but California is okay.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
As a matter of fact, my dogs don't like white people neither.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
Really,
I understand.
I had to get my mail carrier reassigned because my dogs they
I can't.
they just
Go ahead.
hypersensitive to they feel what I feel, and they feel that I'm on high alert.
How does that happen? How does that happen? How do you get?
Because animals can pick up smell, scent, and vibration. And when
Oh,
people in
they know what you don't
trepidation,
like. Oh, got you.
yeah,
So they know
so they can sense
when
it.
your mood changes around certain people, they pick up on that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and especially solicitors. I had to put up so many
I thought you had.
non-soliciting signs.
I thought you had posters up of like white people and had your dogs like barking at it. And shit.
Oh no, my dogs are the posters.
Fuck with you.
My
Fuck with
Rottweilers
you.
are the posters.
And,
No,
and
my
you guys,
Rottweilers are the posters.
and I think a lot of people have to understand. A lot of white people, they don't understand. You have to This is what a lot of black people have to understand. A lot of white people don't understand why they're being looked at the way that they're looked at because they never saw the way that BLK people have been treated. You see what I'm saying? You have a faction of this white population that really were brought up never to say anything racial or anything, and now a lot of these people are being attacked too. Okay, and I see both sides of it. Like for me, I'm very fortunate because I get to see both sides where most people don't. Okay, so I see the anger where the anger comes from on both sides. I can wear both sets of shoes because I got to
Yeah,
see.
but you know what's funny though, Mark, is that people believe the narrative that's been fed to them by the United States. They
No, I
believe that.
agree.
No,
And TikTok is
and
the
I'm gonna tell
biggest.
you,
TikTok
and
is the
I'm oh,
biggest CIA experiment there is. I believe that.
no,
I
no.
believe that.
I don't, maybe it's the biggest one to track us down and to use AI. I believe that they're creating social credit scores. Anyway, that's a whole
Yes,
different story.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
You're hitting the nail on the head, my man.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
hitting the
but
nail on the head, and people
yeah,
are seeing that. That's
yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
what's really going on. Look at the control they have. Look how many people right now have their effing phones in their hand,
Yeah.
and this is their like they're looking at this
Well,
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're hypnotized by this effing thing.
yeah, well, if especially if you do doom scrolling, but my thing is that there's anyway, before I go that far, but I just wanted to talk about the narrative that's painted to people here in the United States, especially new arriving white immigrants, for instance. Give me a second, Birdie. I'm gonna mute you because of that. Especially white you look, so they're fed the narrative that there was a horrible culture here in the United States, right? Then things like the civil rights movement, people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, changed a lot of that narrative. And then things changed by the time Barack Obama became president here. So they're painted the like that racism is still a thing, but it's not what it once was. So there's people that come here from places like Croatia, Ukraine, and they first time they're finding out that they have to identify as a race here in the United States. It happens here in the United States. They never even think about that back in Croatia or in Albania, or so they just check the box that is closest to them, which is white. And I believe that they think they believe the narrative that this country is no longer extremely racist country, and until they run into those racist situations, no matter how you look at it, if they see another white person arguing with a black American, you know what I mean, or what or perceived as racially black here, and then be called out on it, that's when they start to really see those things up front. And I don't know if they become minions of what it is to proclaim yourself to be white. But I do hear a lot of them saying like, well, if it wasn't for the white man, and then I get a little deeper and I'm like, but you're Albanian, like you can't say
Exactly,
that
and that's the problem. Yeah, yeah.
like
They also get very confused with the accents as they go from one part of the state to the other. and I watched a documentary in regards to that. And the reason why we actually have from the far all the way to the south, and as you migrate, you notice that the language slowly starts to lose your accents. And it's because of the migrations. So when you go all the way up to Boston and you go all the way down to Florida, you have certain accents, correct? Well, as you migrate, you slowly start to lose your accents. And by the time you get all the way up to Washington and California and all the other states, you start to develop a different tone and a different accent. But the ones that are closest to Boston and the South are the ones that are closest to their ancestral roots, is how they can say, yeah. So like you've got your French. So who's the closest to the French? Your French Quarter, your Louisiana. So does it make a little bit more sense? So the ones that are closest to the South and have your Southern accents, all the way up to Boston, Massachusetts.
That's the reason why I use proximeters. The
Correct.
proximity effect, so to speak,
Yep.
is that I was on the panel yesterday, and this guy said he's from Ukraine. I said, where do you reside now? He said he's in right now, currently in New York. I said, so how long you've been in New York or in the States? He said for 8 months. I said, you from Ukraine in New York for 8 months in the United States? He said, yes. He said, what I want to come on the panel and say is that I just don't like it the way white people are treated. Man, you only been 8 months. What do you? How the hell you know?
Exactly.
For the
they in our business with our countrymen. Like
now
they know, like they on top of a different type of white. We don't put all white. It's the ideology. It's the mindset.
Yeah.
And the
So
people
I said,
y'all
okay,
be talking about, it's a certain mindset.
Look, and
So
look,
I
it's
said,
you
And I'm
hold
trying
on.
to
You
tell
want to
us.
no? Hold
They
on.
ain't trying to
Hold
tell
on.
us. They trying to tell our blacks about we don't know. Like we know who is
Hold
who.
on, hold on.
We
No,
know
the
who is
funny
who.
thing is, because Sentinel just made me remember something. So look, Sentinel, that's what I've seen too. It's like a lot of the white immigrants that come to this country, they become a caricature of what they believe a white American is. The same way that it happens with a lot of minority groups here that
they
come to this
move in
country.
proximity
They
to
come
whiteness.
no, but also minority groups here that come here that are
Yes,
racially
yes.
black, quote unquote. They become like a caricature, it's like a cartoon version of what they believe a black American is. That's how I've been perceiving. Yeah.
Indeed,
So
I
like,
agree with that.
Correct.
And
yes.
matter of fact, when I asked this guy this question, and he told me how long he'd been here, I said, "What do you know about the plight of white people engaging with people that they enslaved for 400 years, coming straight out of Ukraine and being in the States for 8 months?" I said, "What were you experiencing in Ukraine before your family and whatever family members were airlifted to the United States?" He said, "Pew pews and boom booms from Russia." I said, "So Russians who look white, and if they didn't open their mouth, you probably couldn't tell that they're not white, were bombing other Ukrainians who speak Russian and look Russian, but call themselves Ukrainian. You here in the United States in 8 months, and you're talking about how bad white people are treated in the United States." And that was my evidence that it doesn't take you long coming from anywhere on this planet. When you come to the United States in America, you acquiesce to what the demarcation of what whiteness is, and you assimilate into that for only two reasons: of not being treated like people that historically have been treated as non-white, and to benefit. That is it.
I got a person. I had a Canadian homeboy. He just came to America, man. He all far right now. I'm like, God damn, bro, you ain't been here
This
for
is
like a
what they
year and a half.
do.
I'm like, bro. And
They
I
do
think he
this shit.
fucked. I'm trying to reach to him, but that man for them motherfuckers to Matt Wash there. I'm like, what the fuck?
What you said? What you
Hey
said?
man,
Where you said?
I
Hold on.
seen him with my
Where you said he from? Where you said he from?
he from Canadian. I think it was Rufus, Scotland, and been Canadian for down there. Whatever Canadian existed. You know what I'm saying? But came to America and went like Mount Wide, like super conservative. Like I'm American
Canada,
now. I
Travis is
told her, no,
nothing but
you're
a
not.
satellite nation of the British Commonwealth. That's all Canadian means. That's why they fly the Union Jack. You think they fly the Union Jack because that's the only damn flag they could have came up with?
But a lot of Canadian, I can tell the difference to an American and the Canadian. They totally different. Though. If you go, they
Oh yes, they
totally
are.
different. Yeah, they
Yes.
totally different.
Yeah, they are different in certain aspects. But again, when you hit the continental U.S., the demarcation to acquiesce and assimilate to whiteness,
Yeah, then they assimilate.
I
Yeah.
would. There must be some kind of white training centers that I don't know about, and I have to do an investigation on that because somewhere people are being trained on how to act white, be white,
I
and
think they love
assimilate to
that
whiteness.
American
I think they're just
white woman. I think
proclaiming.
that's what it is.
He
Now you
said
can't be
this.
getting all this on the internet with smartphones because
He
some people
said.
don't even they watch their phones. They don't use their phone as a teaching aid or they use it as a entertainment media. They don't use it to investigate the real historiography and history and iconography of ancient civilization or modern civilization. And when I say iconography, I'm talking about changing ancient artifacts to support the Western view of civilization. Most of what is Western civilization has been built on the ruins and on the rubble of nations that predated Indo-Proto-Europeans, particularly Protestants and Anglo-Saxons before they came to the Americas. I've been doing this for 43 years, man. And I'm gonna keep on doing it. This is my calling.
But now, I hear you, Sentinel. But my thing is that if you look at the long list now of what qualifies as white here in the United States, I believe there's a reason why that list keeps getting longer and longer, and it's because WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, are not procreating to the level of sustainability. That's why they're
Why do you say that?
because
Because people like me who have children who said, I'm not having children. My middle daughter turned around at 25 and went and got her tubes tied. She said, I'm not having children. I don't want them. I don't like them. They're disgusting. My oldest one is having trouble having children because of her endometriosis. My youngest one is 27 and is still getting her life together.
What?
Endometriosis.
Oh,
Yeah. And so, and the way the world is right now with the economy and shit like that, nobody wants to have children. Also, the
and
amount of
that's what
freaking
and,
diseases that keep coming
and
out.
that's why they're importing new whites over here. That's why they're importing the Ukrainians that are coming over here and all that.
you know
And
what?
it's because to
One thing I can
keep
say is J.D. Vance and Trump denied it. He said we need more what, and white women need to be having more what? More babies.
Yeah.
what do
Well,
you
you know
what do you
what?
think? Yeah, but where look, but give me a second, Birdie, because there's a reason why they're bringing there's a reason why they're bringing a lot of Ukrainian women here, and it's because I believe white American men want to have children, but I don't think it's the women so much that want to have children here in the United States. So they're
They
bringing in.
don't like them.
Well, you know
There's
what's going
so
to
many
happen.
American women. Like I travel all around the state. It's so many. I don't know how they can't find one. I got to go them away. Talk about. I don't want to do that. It's so many of them that's ready though.
Yeah, but there's going to be a fucking baby boom after the Scots were here, man. You know it. 9 months from now and in April, there's going to be a baby boom. They,
I don't know, man. The white guys are thrown off, man. They assess. They love talking about small heads all day. They talk about. I don't know, man. It's I don't know, man.
No, I mean, I
They
said
thrown off.
With the Scottish guys being here, and the women, there'll be a baby boom with the Scots that were here. There was enough alcohol to last until they drank it all. With all those women, there'll be a baby boom at some point in time.
I see a lot
Just
of
wait till
recruiting
April.
Latinos, a lot of Latinos, and a lot of
The
the
Asian
white
girls.
with a little bit
A-
ideology. They recruit like a lot of I'm seeing what they doing now.
Yeah, but you know what? We were a
Asian
melting
people don't
pot.
have big families. The ones that
No,
have
they
like
don't.
the type of Asians that do have like big families, I would say are like the Filipinos,
Hmm.
and if you want to, Pacific Islander Asians. I don't know what you consider them.
But at this point, we are all mixed. You just need to do a DNA test. Everybody is mixed with a bag of nuts and then some. It's there's no way.
I don't think that's all the way true.
Hey, I'm not
Well,
mixed, man. How you took a
it's
genealogy? How you took like your paperwork? Took a genealogy, not the
I did.
DNA test, but your
Um,
genealogy.
I did two different ones, and they came back almost identical. I am
Not a
everything.
DNA test, not a DNA test. They tell you the name. I'm talking about the genealogy, like paperwork. Your mother, your grandparents, your great great,
My
your fourth, your fifth
mother, yeah,
generation.
well, I had to because with my father being Hispanic and him being a conspiracy nut and not telling me anything about my medical history, I had to. Um, because I've got something going on medically. So I had to do blood work. I had to do the 23andMe, the ancestry, and then they have the medical stuff after it, plus what I'm doing on the side. Um, and yeah, I am everything except for Asia. I literally light up the entire world except for the Asia part. I'm a mutt of the world.
I already know what last come up for, boy. I know the last guy to know when we talk about white supremacists. I already know even
Like I am 20, I'm 28% indigenous to the
last.
Americas, 23 and 20 North Central and South Americas. I am almost the rest of it is pretty much the world.
Yeah, we don't believe in none of that. Shout out to the panel, man. Peace Lopez,
What up? What up?
King Sonny, man. Yeah, I've been listening for a while, man, and man, God, y'all know I was getting triggered at some points or
Yeah, I
whatever,
already
but
know. I see. Yo,
I
you, how you? I get what you. I get what you say. I get what you say.
yeah, I held my composure though, because I don't even feel like turning up like that, man. But I don't even know where to start. I heard a lot of shit, man. Birdie, you said earlier, right? You said earlier that your family migrated here in 1890. Is that correct?
My father's side of the family migrated 1890
And
from
and your
Guava.
mother's side?
1900 became
Okay,
a U.S. citizen, but I don't know my other part. There's another part missing.
okay. And you identify as white.
On my birth certificate, yes.
Okay, so this is the problem that I'm having, right? As being a real American and descending, from who I descend from, I have a. Can you mute real quick because it's an echo? Okay, I have an age old fight against people in this country who identified as white, and they did particular things to my ancestors on this land in order to strip them of this land and strip them of their identity through paper genocide and things of that nature. Multiple wars took place between my family and these people that identified themselves as white at a particular time. And when you come in and identify as those people, but you're not those people, you kind of getting in my way and stepping on my toes. It's the same thing as the melanated immigrants coming in and calling themselves black. They're stepping on my toes because they're not the original people who were identified as black in this country, and they have a completely different understanding of the history and the plight of my people on this land, right? And this is why I don't believe in this white supremacy shit, man. Because I done been on multiple panels and multiple conversations with people that don't look white, and they're also my enemy. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the problem that I'm having
Okay.
with this whole
Yes,
conversation.
I
Yeah,
respect what you're saying, but I can't co-sign to that, brother.
well, I'm not asking you to co-sign. Can you stay muted till I get done speaking? You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't cut nobody off. Um, the thing is, right? We have an ancestral fight going on as we speak in this country. We have an ancestral fight Some people are fighting for land back, some people are fighting for compensation, for free labor and things of that nature. And what's the problem that we're having? The reason why our fight is constantly being prolonged is because we got people constantly, like Lopez said, constantly being imported in and calling themselves something that they're not and getting in the way of that. Because if somebody was to say white people, oh, my family such and such, and you claiming to be this said white person, you don't have no connection to what those previous white people did. So you'll be in the conversation saying, oh, we don't owe you anything, because you don't owe us anything. You're not the people that we're talking about, but you identify as those people. You get what I'm saying? So you
That's a
kind of
great
so people
point. That's a great point. I was thinking the exact same thing as you were saying, and I'm like that. This is where the argument can be made that not all white people here in the United States were involved in slavery, and it's because when did these people become white? But go ahead, last man.
exactly, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. So we're getting Black Americans are getting gaslit from all angles. We're getting gaslit from the quote unquote white people, and we're also getting gaslit by the melanated people calling themselves black. And I understand, we on TikTok, and people just get on here to unwind and shoot the shit and things like that. But you got some people who take this shit very seriously. You know what I'm saying? A person identifying as white with no connection to what happened in this country, you're posturing yourself as my enemy. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna land right there. I
And
just
that
wanted
makes sense.
to.
Posturing yourself as my enemy, but then saying why you mad at the same time, right?
And
Exactly.
that what that dude for Poland was doing. That what that dude for Poland, but he
Well, the
left.
reason why I said my father, my one the half is because I don't know my grandfather, my mother's father side, because we don't know his father and we don't know his side. And we were told that he was Dutch. We don't know when they came over. We don't know his real father or his side of the family at all. So I don't know that history. I only know my father's family side and my mother's father. I don't know my great grandmother's family's history on my mother's side, and I don't know my grandfather's history because we don't know his real father or his history. So I can't say for sure what that history is, only the two that I know.
Let me
So that's
ask you
why.
this. Let me ask you this. Do you believe white people owe a debt to society for the atrocities they committed on this land to the particular people they committed the atrocities to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Including to the Native Americans. Absolutely.
And
So
I want you
so
to break that
so
white supremacy thing too, man. Before
okay. So yeah, I'll break down the white supremacy, and I'm definitely gonna spin back to that Native
And,
American
and I
shit
and
though.
I wanted to know what Sentinel pushback was on that. If you may, last time, because he said he had some pushback on
You
it.
want to let him go
it's a white
first, and then
supremacy
No, I
thing.
just
I
want,
want,
yeah, that's what I think that's
but
what he
once
was
Laz
alluding
break it
to.
down,
I
it's gonna make sense.
No,
I
but I'm
have
saying, all right, go
I
ahead,
have
my bad.
patience, bro. No, bro, I have patience. I like for people to talk and see what their context and if their argument has continuity to. So I prefer to let them just speak.
Okay, got it.
I,
So if you would like to, last time, you could go ahead.
okay, I'll break down the white supremacy talking point. So the reason I say that white supremacy doesn't exist is I stated it already. I've been in multiple conversations and in multiple things in real life offline, whereas there are melanated people around the world, not just around the world, who are also my enemy, not just white tea presenting people. So to reduce my plight and my position in this world, that only that YT that this YT boogeyman is solely my enemy, is I think that's a disservice, and I think that's a sleight of hand. I think it's a sleight of hand to get me to focus solely on white tea presenting people and not keep my eye on melanated individuals as well. Because even on just your panels, Lopez, we've been in multiple conversations, panels full of melanated people that, and not one white tea person in sight, and these people are basically my enemy in conversation, right? They have completely opposing views to the plight of my people and what we stand for in this country. So to reduce that and call it YT supremacy, I think that's an outdated talking point. And I think
Okay, Les,
in
let me ask you this.
2020 in
Are you
2026,
FBA?
absolutely not. I'm a
Okay.
black
You said,
American who's indigenous to America.
okay, so you said you're a black American
Correct.
indigenous to America.
Correct.
Okay, so if you're a black American indigenous to America, where was the beginning stage of your flag being planted in the America?
So we were already here prior
No,
to
when you
the
no, you
colon.
just said
Hold
all
on, you gotta
melanated
let
people are
you
not.
asked me a question. You're gonna have to let me answer the question, right? I'm gonna answer the question the way I answer the question, not how you want me to answer it. Now, my people, my family was already here, documented here, prior to and during the colonial period in America, right? Um, through processes of reclassification, my indigenous ancestors became United States citizens, and they were subject to be classified as black, colored, Negro, mulatto on their genealogical records due to certain wars that took place and treaties of those wars, which caused my ancestors to be documented as such.
Okay, so who had the authority and had the power to do that?
So it happened on multiple fronts. There were multiple
I know that.
waves
I know
of.
about
All
I
right.
know about the
So
nullification wars, the
again, you asked me a
Seminole wars.
question. Again, you asked me a question, and I would like to fully get my thought out before you respond and cut me off. So you asked me who had the authority to do such a thing. So that's how this is why understanding documented American history is very important, and understanding the waves of colonial powers that came to this land and what took place as they were coming. Because as they were coming, they were allying and warring with multiple indigenous tribes simultaneously. You had the British, you had the French, you had the Spanish. There were more, but these were the main three colonial powers that were sweeping across the mainland United, what we know as the United States today. In the 13 colonies, you had the British allying and warring with multiple tribes in the Louisiana Territory, not just the state, the actual territory from the Gulf of Mexico up to the Great Lakes in Canada. They were being colonized by the French as well as the Spanish, and then you had the Spanish over in the Spanish and the French over in the West. So these were the people that were going to WAR or war. I'll just say war with indigenous people, enslaving these indigenous people through prisoners of war status, and then creating laws for these prisoners of war, which enacted chattel slavery in perpetuity.
Are you done?
I landed.
Okay, so you basically told who did it, who the culprits were. You named them. You said it's French, Spanish, British. Now you mentioned the 13 colonies, but you didn't mention the Continental Congress, which was in place before the 13 colonies. The Continental Congress was the first confederacy in the Western Hemisphere before the 13 colonies. George Washington, as they say, he was the president of the 13 colonies, not the Continental Confederacy. And the ones that started the treaties and reclassification and identifying indigenous people were a culprit between the Continental Army and the Continental Congress, and the newly Confederacy was the 13 colonies. So the people that did the reclassification and went to WAR with the indigenous people, as you say, are the same people that we're talking about.
So during the colonial period, you
No, I'm
done?
talking about pre-colonial.
I'm saying the colonial period, after the colonial period, all the wars, the Gullah Geechee wars, the wars of Turtle Island. I'm talking about all that. The same people that were the culprits were Europeans, but they didn't identify themselves as white. It was the Spanish, it was the Portuguese, it was the British, the English, and the British. So these are the same people. The people, they came up with a decree and an agreement that what they're going to do is carve up the lands that you say are the indigenous peoples of North America and divide them amongst themselves. So again, these people still that you're talking about that did this and warred against the indigenous people and reclassified them are not melanated people.
And that's where I knew you was gonna land there. That's why I waited patiently, because this is why understanding also the history of the Iberian Peninsula prior to the colonial period. These were a diverse mixed group of people that were coming over here. All of them were not YT. If you look into the journals of the explorers that came to the mainland United States, they all had melanated people with them. There were Moors, and there were Moors and Sephardics on their journeys with them during the colonial period, and they were absolutely helping enslave and war with the indigenous people in America.
And I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all, because you got to understand the Sephardic and the Marazi, they were all culprits together. A lot of the ones that were Spanish and French were Sephardic. So
correct. So when they so during the colonial period, when these wars and everything that happened, we can't just say that it was only YT people. There were melanated people. There were melanated people as well, warring with the indigenous people. So that's why I would not reduce that. I would not reduce this history and pack it into a term called white supremacy.
Okay, that's your choice. Your choice to do that. It might just because I think that's the reason why you speak about the colonial, the 13 colony period, and don't speak about
no. When I say colonial period, I made it very clear that I was you fixated on the 13 colonies, but I clearly stated the 13 colonies, the Louisiana Territory from the Gulf of Mexico to the Great Lakes in Canada and the West Coast of the mainland United States. I spoke on all of them as the colonial period.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that the Continental Congress, the Confederacy of the Continental Congress, which was established before the 13 colonies, was not a part of the colonial expansion?
That was part of the colonial period. But
that's what I'm trying to get you.
Hold up. Only on the East Coast in the 13 colonies. They did not expand west until after 1803 of the Louisiana Purchase. That's when they began to expand west. The Continental Congress was already established in the 1780s. So
I said that. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Okay. So we're not going to reduce. Hold on. So we're not going to reduce.
I'm not trying to reduce anything.
Real quick.
I'm trying to put it in historical context.
Let me finish the thought. I'm trying to keep it in historical context. The Continental Congress had nothing to do with the Louisiana Territory. They wasn't even in control of that yet. They had not made it to the Mississippi River yet. You get what I'm saying? They had not made it to the West Coast. The Spanish was in control at that time.
Okay. Who helped the 13 colonies establish themselves? Was it the Continental Congress, or did the 13 colonies establish that themselves?
So before they were the 13 colonies, they were actually companies. Those were trading companies. The Virginia Company of London,
East Indian.
The East India Company, the Plymouth Company of London. So these were actually companies which that established the third. There was no Continental Congress yet at that time. Continental Congress didn't come until around the time of the right around the time of the American Revolution, which led to the Articles of Confederation. You don't get the United Colonies until after the Articles of Confederation. You get what I'm saying? But again, that is only 13 colony East Coast history. That did not take place in the rest of the mainland United States. You understand? I have genealogical records all over this mainland United States. So I don't reduce the history down to what took place in the 13 colonies.
They can give you what? That lineage, that document history of your lineage gives you what? it tells me who my family was and where they were and what happened to them on this land.
What does it tell you about what they're going to gain from what they lost from being reclassified and reshuffled all over the Americas?
No, it gives me historical. It gives me proper context in how to understand and qualify and document this history that took place on
But
this
again,
land.
if you have an enemy and it's on your land, if you have an enemy on your land and you have a company or a group or a confederacy that reclassify all these people that are indigenous to the Americas or the Maricas, how does just having the documentation to prove your lineage in the historical context give you compensation, make you whole, and repatriate land back to those that were reclassified and land was taken from?
Well, these things are a legal matter, and it's going to come down to
Oh,
it's going to come down to setting a
mhm,
legal precedent. It's going to come
mhm.
down to setting a legal precedent in this country of basically establishing within the confines of the law. And there's people that want to try other means, but I'm standing on it being a legal matter. And also, it takes me back. What you just asked me takes me back to what I first stated when I got on the stage, is that the reason why the battle is prolonged and being drawn out is because we keep getting waves of people claiming to be the said people that were here, but they're not. Hence,
So,
i.e., the person above me on the stage. She's not
okay,
connected to the history that we're speaking about, but she
okay.
presents herself as that.
So is she your enemy?
I said earlier she's posturing herself as my enemy.
Oh, okay. So you're saying to me that because of what you've been able to uh, prove or clarify or certify as far as lineage and documented history, that the process to be made whole and restored should be dealt with through the legal machinations of the legal system of the government.
Yes, because those things happened within the confines of the legal mechanism. Over time, laws change and get updated or stripped and things of that nature. So everything that happened within the confines of the law. So I'm of the belief that the remedy is also through the confines of the law.
Okay, so what law and what treaty have the government or this government, the federal government, and all of its statutes and all of its 27 amendments have done? Do you think what we're talking about right now, they don't know?
Oh, they absolutely know, and that's why
Okay, so they're
they keep importing waves of immigrants
okay.
hold on. They absolutely know. That's why they keep shuffling in waves of immigrants to act as a buffer in between the original people who have the original claim and grievance against the government. But you asked another question, so let me answer it in order, right? You said what laws, right? The Constitution, the United States Constitution, it states that the treaties that the United States government enters in are the supreme law of the land. Can you agree with that, or do I need to pull it up?
No, I disagree with it because the law and the record has nothing to do with what they do. They have not
Wait, wait, wait,
honored
wait,
any
wait. You
treaties.
so
Those
you
treaties they
wait, so
haven't
you
honored. They don't
wait,
honor
wait, wait, wait,
treaties,
wait,
brother. I'm trying
wait,
to
wait,
tell you,
wait,
it's
wait,
on record.
wait,
No, it's on
wait.
record. I agree with you that you can prove it. I can prove it. I have both my phone and my laptop right here. I'm saying these people that you're referring to do not honor treaties, even though they're codified and written within the constitutional law and in the
Okay,
legalese of the
so
law. They do not honor treaties.
Okay,
I'm trying to
so
get you to understand they don't honor treaties.
I understand how you feel about it, and I understand the historical nuance of how treaties have been broken. I definitely understand that, but again, like I stated, regardless of how we feel about it, regardless of what we think it should be, The Constitution of the United States says that the treaties entered into by the United States government are the supreme law of the land. So the treaties that my family are connected to are still enacted. And again, this is a legal matter. So all remedies in my opinion shall be sought through the legal apparatus.
So here's my question then.
Well, okay,
If
bro, you
you
got that
think,
right.
if you think that I am not part of, because of my half of my heritage, I should say, then, because I'm presenting as false to you, um, I should not then pay for anything. So
I'll
how
be
does that work in the legal system? If you then need to prove that my family did not own slaves, according to you, how then do you prove that that's the case?
I believe that someone like yourself should not even have a voice in the conversation.
I told you,
And
well,
this
I
is and
told you that I did not know my grandfather's side when they came into the United States because I did not also know who his father was. Therefore, there is a possibility that his family owned slaves because I don't know.
well,
Therefore, there's a possibility I should pay I can't even say it, reparations, which I wholeheartedly agree on because the other side of the family definitely did not. So legally, how would you divide that and say, okay, this part didn't, but this part possibly did? How would you legally, if you say that I did not have any part to do with it, how do you separate the two?
and this is the problem. This is the problem that I have with YT presenting people that shouldn't even be in this conversation. You listen, Birdie, is it you can't afford reparations. You can't afford to pay what this government owes to my people. So thinking that you're gonna be some people are gonna come after you individually to come after your pockets, you can't afford it. So that's not what reparations are. This is a grievance against the United States federal government because of the laws that they put in place that allowed what happened to my people to take place. You don't have you're safe. You don't even have to worry about it.
But where do you think
That's
the
not
money
even
comes from?
the money comes from the United States federal government. Where did all the COVID money come from? I'm sure you received a stimulus check, a couple of them. Where did that money come from? Come on now.
The
This is
taxpayer.
why. This
It
is
ends up
why.
coming from the
This is why.
taxpayers.
This is why people that don't have a leg in the game. I've shown my genealogy on this panel before. I'm talking.
Mine's in my bio,
I'm
so
talking going. I'm talking going back to the 1600s, not 1890, man. I'm having a different conversation that you can't even be involved in. Your people wasn't even there to witness it.
but I don't know that on my grandfather's side. That's what I'm saying is I know half of
And
mine, but I don't know my
just
grandfather's.
because you
So I'm
don't know,
trying to.
this government knows everybody. This government knows exactly who we are. This government knows exactly who immigrated here. This government knows exactly who was here. Just because you don't know personally does not mean it's not known. And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
But
It's a fact.
according to your point, though, your point is stating that my family, because I'm presenting as whatever it is I'm presenting to you, that half of my family, because they came in at such and such time, doesn't owe anything, but the other half does. But technically, the government owes you, which I wholeheartedly agree with. But that money comes from the taxpayers, and the taxpayers means all of us, including you. So
Exactly. So this is the thing. This is the thing, right? And because you got a bad echo. Can you mute when you're done speaking?
yes,
Because you
yes,
have a bad
absolutely.
echo, right? Okay. Every immigrant that comes to this country, I don't care if they got here yesterday and I don't care if they got here 100 years ago. They know the history of what took place on this land. It's worldwide. It's worldwide information. It's available worldwide. You knew what type of country you were immigrating to. You knew that there was a people that was wronged by the government of this country, and you made a choice to immigrate to a country who owed a debt to a particular demographic of that country. So you can't then turn around and say, hey, I don't want to be a part of that debt. No, you came to reap the benefits. You immigrated to reap the benefits from the country that did what it did to its original inhabitants of the country. You knew that prior to immigrating. So you can't feign ignorance now and say, well, hey, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't want to be involved. No, you wanted to be involved because you heard about what this government did to the original inhabitants, and you still made the conscious choice to immigrate there. So we're not doing this feigned ignorance now.
Well, okay, so my father's father, whomever it was, the one in 1890 from Mexico, technically came from Mexico, and half of the U.S. was Mexico.
No, it was not.
Before,
It
yes,
was
It was
Mel.
not.
actually,
No, it's
it
not Mel.
No, it
was.
was
not at
not. It
that
was
You should
time.
do
Not
your
at
no,
that.
it
history.
was not.
Go back in
No,
history and
it
look at
was New
how Mexico
Spain. It
was.
wasn't
And
Mexico though. It was New
It was,
Spain.
and
it
and
was
this is hold
the
on, and this is
way the
real quick.
U.S. was and how.
Hey, real quick. Let's slow down real quick. You're not finna teach American history to real Americans, and you're not a real American. So we pushing back is for a reason, right? You said half of the country was Mexico. That's false. That was New Spain. And by the time your family in 1890, it was already the United States. Became the United States in 1848 via the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, where the United States paid the Mexican government $15 million for that territory. 1890, it was already done.
And I am also indigenous to Americas.
No, you're not.
I am
Stop it.
too.
Stop it. Stop. What tribe and what territory?
Pure Picha.
What territory?
I just said Pure Picha. Look it up.
What territory of the United States?
Mexico. All the way down to Chihuahua.
Man, you see, and this is the
And
problem.
I have already
Birdie.
This
Listen with yourself,
verified,
Birdie.
excuse me, I've already verified it with a Native American tribe. So that has already
this is
been
the problem.
verified
Man,
You
with
see,
listen
you
a
what you
see,
saying,
Navajo
man. Man,
American,
listen. Man, you're
a
not
Native
hearing yourself,
American
man.
tribe. I've already verified that. So I don't need anybody to tell me that it is not verified.
I don't
Heck,
need
I
no
don't
white
need
I
that.
don't need no white woman
So
tears up here
it's
pretending to
one of
be a
those
victim.
things,
No. I don't need no white woman tears pretending to be a
and I'm
victim.
not
Because this whole time you was up here presenting as a white woman. Now all of a sudden you native. I don't want to hear this shit, man.
Excuse me, I have done the research, I have done the DNA tests, I've done 2 DNA tests, and I've done all the blood work.
Indians don't even do DNA tests. It go by
Excuse me,
genealogy.
I have
What are you talking
also
about?
verified it with the Navajo Indian tribe.
The Navajo
I have done it with,
Navajo are not indigenous. What are you
I
talking
have
about?
also done it with a tribe member, and in Kansas with tribe members. I don't need you to tell me what I've already verified with tribe members.
Why is this?
So,
You've been on this panel for hours. Why is this just now
because you
coming
have
up?
just now been on it for over an hour. I've been on it longer than you.
I've been on this land longer than you. What are you talking about? You can't even. You couldn't earlier. You couldn't even
Look
go
up.
back. Hold
Can
up.
you look up?
You're not about to talk over me. You've been on this panel for hours,
And
And I
you,
said I was
when you were
Native.
at, when you hold on, when you were asked about who you were saying 1890 on your father's side, and then your mother's side was the 1900s. You know, on your father's side, there was a line you wasn't too sure about. You did not mention nothing about no native until just
I said
now.
my father's side was from Mexico, and he came from his great father was from 1890. They came from Durango, or from the Pure Picha tribe. I was very
You
specific
never
with that.
said that. You never
I
said
did
that.
too. I
You
said
did
he
not
came
say that. I've
from
been listening for a
Mexico.
long
From,
time. I've been listening for a long time. You didn't. You. This is the first time you
I
brought up
said
being
that
any
several
type of
times.
native.
I also
No,
said
you
that I
have
was
not.
from. Yes, I have.
No, you haven't. I've been
Yes,
listening. You have
I
not
did.
brought that up.
I
You
did too.
just
Then
now
you
mentioned
need to
it.
get some hearing aids, dude.
You just now mentioned it. You've never brought that up in this whole
I
conversation.
did too.
People in the chat
I
that's
also
been
said he was
listening.
from
Has she?
Durango.
It,
But
people in the
my thing
chat.
is that where I'm confused is the being from the Parapucha
Pure
tribe,
Picha tribe.
yeah, right? Also known as the Tarascans. They're concentrated in northwestern highlands of Mexican state of Michoacan. How does that make you a native?
It's
I don't
his
understand.
family when it goes, you followed the, because his family's from there, deep Chihuahua, all the way
But
down
what
in there. And
my
it's
thing is,
winter
how do you get a Native American from here to
because it's
verify
north,
you
central, and
being?
south that his family is
So
from.
you're talking about Pan Amer? What you mean that from North Central North America?
Pure
Para
Picha.
Purapicha, North American Parapichans from this part, what we know as the
They're
48
from
continental state.
they're from that tribe is from there. And that
From
is where
where?
my
From where
father's
though? From
family
there though.
originates from.
All right, but this we're talking about the state of Michoacan, right? Because I'm looking it up now. The
It's
state
not a
of Micho.
state.
It says it says
That's the city,
primarily concentrated.
area. Yes,
Well,
concentrated.
it
That's
says
where my father's family is from,
but that's in
literally.
Central. That's what we know as Central America, though I know it's part of North America, but it's that's what we know as Central America.
Right.
How do you then turn around and get Native Americans to verify
Because when
your
you do
your?
your blood work, when you do all of your blood work from all of the panels, they will put north, central, and south, which means I am from all of the above.
That's bullshit.
Don't work
But that's
like
not
that
how
now.
That's
That's
American.
what,
bullshit.
but
That's not
if
how
you
Indian
do your,
territories work, though. That's not
but
how
that's
Indian
what they
territories
put.
work.
I'm just telling you what they put.
Oh, got you. But I don't think that's how
But
Indian territories work.
that's how they put it. And I, like I said, I did several different tests
What
because
does
I
that have to
had
do with
to.
the Navajos? What does that have to do with the
Because I
Navajos?
had to
They
ask,
don't do
because
blood
I
work.
didn't know.
They
I
don't
had
do
to ask,
blood work.
I had to do several different asking of different tribes because I didn't know what that was. I couldn't even pronounce it at the time. And I had somebody my husband worked with that had a tribe that we went to, and I had to ask the tribe members there if they had ever heard of it. And I gave them all the information that I had, and it was all written out on paper. And I said, can you help me do some research on this? Because I've never heard of it. And they went and helped me do some research on it. And they helped correct all the information. So this isn't just some white girl, as you put it, just throwing out information.
This some fake white shit. I ain't buying it.
So
Cause
I'm not just
you didn't
sitting
even know
here
your
telling you
genealogy earlier.
something that I don't know.
You didn't even know your genealogy earlier, and all of a sudden you Parapichi from Mexico, and the
You're a
Navajos
peacha.
confirmed it, and the Navajos confirmed. Get the fuck out! I don't believe in nothing you saying,
You don't
man.
have to believe me. I
You
didn't
making
ask you
this
to
shit.
believe me. Just like I don't believe half the shit that you're saying either. How does that feel? I don't
I don't even
care.
care how
I
you
just
feel. I'm a
went to
real
some.
American. You didn't
I
even know
just
who you
went.
were.
I'm a real American too.
I don't know who you. I'm a real American. You didn't know who you were a couple of hours ago. Now all of a sudden you big native. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's how y'all played us in the beginning.
coming over here, get joining these fucking tribes, becoming chiefs, selling land, backdooring motherfuckers, stealing identities, stealing land, and all type of shit. Y'all still
I
doing the
have a
same
question. Wait,
play,
wait. I
and
have a question.
that's why when I first came up, I said you were posturing yourself as my enemy, and you just showed yourself as
I have
my
a
enemy.
question for you, and it's a very important question, and it has to do with slavery. Just one question. And if you can answer this question, then we'll be fine.
You can't ask me
No,
shit
no, no,
about
no.
no
I have to
slave.
ask you a question. One
You can't ask me shit about slavery if your people didn't get here
one
to the
question.
1890s
One
and
question.
1900s. Your people got here after slavery is over with. You can't ask
No,
me shit
no, no,
about
no. One
slavery.
question.
You can't ask me. You
One
can't ask me
question.
shit.
One question.
And to the lady in the comments, Julie Jen, the Sac and Fox tribe. Do you know who that chief was? Do you know who the chief of that tribe was? They don't do DNA. They do genealogy. Y'all be on your line, man. Y'all gotta realize y'all not talking to people that don't study and don't read and don't do
Are you
genealogy.
afraid of my question?
I'm not answering no question about no slavery from you.
Because you
Your
won't
people
answer it?
wasn't
Or are you
even
afraid
here.
of the question?
Your
Because
people
you can't
wasn't even
answer
here.
it?
Hold on. I've been on multiple of these panels and
Answer the question.
I've shown my genealogy to the host and others in these lives. I've shown enslaved ancestry paperwork and everything, right? You can't ask me a goddamn thing about slavery on this land when your people wasn't even here until the 1890s and 1900s. You cannot ask me a question. I won't answer it. Period.
You won't answer my question.
Well, it ain't.
Ask somebody in the chat. I'm not answering no question from about slavery from a white woman. Straight up.
And why?
Just say it because you wasn't here.
He wasn't there either.
How
What he
you?
meant by you, he means for your bloodline, man. He doesn't mean you particularly.
Yes, yeah, and this is why
And it's just something I learned. It's just
panels
something
like
I
this go
learned because
left.
I read it.
Panels like this go left because I'm not finna handle y'all with kid gloves. I'm not finna kiki and caca with you and smile and laugh, crack jokes. I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna get straight to the business. I knew who you was when I first came up, but I had to let your mask slip off slowly, and you let it slip. I knew you was gonna let it slip off. I knew who you
Why
were.
did you not want to answer a question that was a very important one during slavery?
Yeah, I'm done talking. King Sonny, you can answer the question, or Lopez. I'm done talking to her. I'm done talking to this imposter.
Why did, I'll rephrase it. Why was it so important for you to have, during slavery, the different types of braids?
Get this bitch. Hey, Lopez, what the fuck?
I don't know what the
What the
question
fuck
was.
wrong
What?
with this bitch, man? Now I'm finna get
Oh
disrespectful, man.
no, I don't even know what happened right now. I was just answering the
It's
gentleman.
because you would put different types of grain in the hair so that you would have
Man,
food for your
Lopez,
What
man.
the fuck is going
Lopez.
on?
What the fuck is going on, Lopez? What the fuck is going on for real, man?
Where did you hear?
Did you
Where did
learn
you hear
something
this shit?
new?
Hold on, Birdie. Where did you hear that mess from? Where you heard that jazz from?
It was a book that
What?
You see why I don't answer questions from people that wasn't here? Like man, what?
Yeah, no, yeah, the panel's doing bad because there's no current live visibility was restricted. I was actually about to start the live again because I'm not answering the damn things on time. Oh, but yeah, that's crazy. Where? Hold on, let me hear this out though, Birdie. Where you said what book you read that said this? Huh, Birdie? I've never heard this. I mean, I have heard it, but I just never heard of this book that exclaims this. Wish she was gonna get to the corn rolls and braids and the seeds and shit.
And it's the type of shit we got to deal with, man. This is this shit. This is why I don't be playing Lopez. I know I be probably killing your lives, man. When I
No,
be
you
on,
good.
this is
No, it's
why I
not
don't be
even that. It
playing.
was the restrictions. It was the restrictions. So nobody's seeing it. I lost all visibility.
I'm following you on X, boy. You be on one on X though. I ain't gonna, I'm,
I'm unfiltered on X. I can't. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I follow you on X. Boy, you be on that.
I gotta,
All right,
I
so
gotta, I gotta water my, I gotta water myself down on TikTok,
yeah, we
man.
got
But
to
on
talk a
X,
little bit.
on X, I'm shit. I'm live in effect. Yeah, I ain't
Yeah.
playing with no. I'm not playing with these people, man.
Oh damn. So yeah, Birdie, where? Unmute your mic. Where did you get this? What book? Are you looking it up right now? The book. What book you heard this from? The seeds and the braids, and I don't know where you're gonna take
He
it.
probably read Roots.
No, it was a book that I read a few years ago because
What
I
was it
was
called?
learning. I don't remember the book that it was because it was
And you
something I learned
and you learned what? You learned what from that book? That the seeds were put.
when they were picking food or seeds or grain. Because they didn't have enough food, they would put it in their hair because it was easy to hide. And so they had food to feed their children. And that's why they had braids. Well, they had braids in general, but that they would have different types of braids to also communicate with other people. And
Oh,
it was
the braid.
something that was imperative to be able to do.
Mhm.
I don't remember the book because it was years ago that I read it. And I am one of those people that just pick up books to read about history. And I have a terrible memory, but I remember things because my daughter wanted to be a teacher. And I was one of those parents that said, if that book looks interesting to you, get it. And I let them read as long as it was an appropriate book and it was in the book. And it stuck with me because
This is the kind of
it
disrespectful
just
shit. This the kind of disrespectful shit we gotta sit and take and swallow dealing with these fucking people, man. This is insane, man. This is out of
why is
control,
that
man.
important? Why is that disrespectful? Because to me that was something that
Sound like a
was
fantasy book.
important to learn for history.
Sound like a fantasy book.
It wasn't a fantasy book, but it was something that was important for me to
It
read.
has sources. They had
My
sources in the
te-
book or anything.
I can start researching and looking real quick, but I mean, it to me as a when a child to me, I mean, she was middle school at the time. When a child looks at me and says, "Can I get that book and read it?" Fine, read it. I'm not going to tell a child not to read a book.
A middle fucking school book, motherfucker. A motherfucker trying to tell me about my family
I,
history from a middle fucking school book, man. What
I'm
the
not.
fuck?
I am not. You know what? She became a reading specialist for the school district. Okay.
Oh, for a fucking middle school. Yeah, man, what
No,
the man?
she she followed her path, and I'm grateful for her to do it. And that's something that I would never turn around and tell any of my children at the time, no, you can't get that book. We stayed out of all of the romantic books and all the other shit. She went right for the history books.
You had me, King Sonny, and Lopez come off our mic like, God damn, what the fuck are you talking about? And you still sitting there like you saying something profound. Like you
That
really
is
feel like
profound.
you really feel
That
like
is
that's some
profound.
you
I'm
really feel
sorry.
like you
Anybody
really
in the
feel like that.
comments just learned something new.
Shut the fuck up. You really feel like that's real history? I got to disrespect you. I got to disrespect. I won't even be able to sleep tonight if I don't disrespect you. Cause what the fuck are you talking about, man? What the fuck are you talking about? This is what, man. Hey, boy. Hey, man. I'm trying to hold
Have
my
you
composure.
watched
I'm trying to hold my composure right now. But this bitch right
Free
here is
Santa
pushing it.
Jones?
This bitch. Did she just?
The camera mode kicking in now.
I'm telling you, man, this shit, this bitch right here, this a disrespectful bitch right here, man. Like I got to call you all type of bitches, man. I don't call black women bitches. Lopez, you ain't never heard me even say the word bitch. But
No.
this bitch right here got to get it, man. What the fuck is wrong with this bitch?
I'm trying to find this damn book, man. Because I could have been
What the
read.
fuck?
I'm reading one called Black Rice: The African Origins of Rice Cultivations in the Americas, written March 1st, 2002. Oh, damn, Les. I don't know what the hell that
Yeah,
was.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
All right,
coming.
I gotta drop you. You know what? And I'm gonna take this time out to restart the live because I have a lot of
All right.
restrictions and I don't want to get that bullying. That's why I got my 3 days on this. So I'm gonna restart the live, guys. This way I also get more visibility with all these.